Oh shit. Hello everybody. Well, it is that time of the year. We are finally at the World Championship. It is finally beginning later on tomorrow. Worlds 2022 will be beginning. Hello everyone. This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 12. So yes, the other new series will be debuting on the channel later on today. I also have other news videos that I want to actually put out for the channel as well. I just got to get a little bit of time to do that. So yeah, we're going to go for like an hour and 20 minutes and some change. Usually it's kind of like the benchmark I have, for these episodes. So I have been for like these last couple of weeks after like all the finals are over, after all the regional qualifiers are over. I just been kind of taking it a little bit more easy, because like when you start talking about like the world championship for that specific year respectively, there's just a lot that comes with that. You're talking about the play-ins, then you have the play-in BO5s, then you actually have the main group stage. Then after that, you have quarterfinals, and after that, you have semifinals and finals, actually. But then when you get to all of these days of games, it just becomes so, loaded up with like all these different player narratives, all the different champions that are getting played. Everyone's going to be talking about, drafting and all those other things. But we've had an interesting layout of how Worlds is going to end up looking this year. So there are topics we have scheduled today for you guys. We have the G2 esports, Ocelot, and Andrew Tate situation to talk about. That's the first one to cover. And then we'll talk about Worlds 2022. And then the last topic we have is, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's actually the show today. We just got to talk about Worlds and G2. That is essentially it. I mean, there's other little smaller news to talk about, but I can just cover that in just, general videos that I would do by myself. So, yeah.
Oh,
How you been,
did
dude?
you? Good. Did you hear about the? I'm sure you heard about TL's coach.
Yeah, Gilioto. Yeah, heard about that. It makes sense. People to factor in when you fail that big with how much money they invested into that kind of roster, you make changes. I don't. I'm just shocked that other people are shocked that they would do that. It's like, yeah, they failed pretty big. You know.
Yeah, but he had like. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it here. So it's
Yeah, we can go over it. I mean, people are probably gonna bring up, well, what about his contract? Doesn't matter.
well
The org,
here.
the org that makes the contract gets to just get out of that stuff anyway. Usually.
Well, I don't think. I think Gilioto. I think he's always had like. So he had. Let's look at his what did he coach before? He was on Giants, right? And then
He was
he
on
had
Giants, Schalke, Origin,
Giants, Schalke,
Immortals,
Origin.
Team Liquid. Yeah.
Yeah, when I look at those teams, they always had someone that was kind of starting to regress. Like
Mm-hmm.
Schalke, I think Nuke has been regressing, but he went from being a top mid laner to a lower tier Niski. If you really look at him, right? That's a fair thing to say. Like he's not bad. He holds his own. Patrick, standout ADC. Uh, Mickey X, he kind of got back in the summer split, so I'll give him that. But spring split, he was looking kind of sketch. Um, then, and then and then we look at the Origin team. He had Halfari, he had Upset, but then you got to think about like what's his face. He had what's that guy? Mithy. Mithy was kind of like mechanically what people were saying was he was just good there for shot calling, kind of like Soaz. So when I look at this TL team, let's see who do they have? Santorin, Boomer, Bergson, Boomer, Hansama, not a Boomer, but pretty pretty well versed in the scene. Core JJ, Boomer, and then you have Bwipo, kind of now established himself, so semi veteran. It's a pretty old team, man. Like like someone made the comment on Twitter. This person was like, if it was a Korean coach. I'm like, no. Even if they didn't have a Korean coach, they didn't have an identity. Um, it's what me and you have talked about all this time. Super teams. The last super team, as much as I don't want to see this out of my mouth, was G2. There's never going to be another super team like that again. Because, like, take for instance the Korean teams that win worlds or the Chinese team that wins worlds. They're not super teams. They're just a well put together team. So this notion of super teams, you he had added pressure for no reason, and then to top it off, you replaced him with the guy who is now going to Worlds and who's going into the group stage with Bjergsen. Like, I don't think he was set up personally to win when you really look at it. Um, Hansama is not the type of person to shot call. I've known that since MSF days. So Bwipo has his way and feels to play topside. Bjergsen has his way. Santorans is just a puppet, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, like, he's following what needs to be done. So is Gilly. It's just what some of it, but with the composition they have, I just don't see it. I think the notion of super teams, ever since Misfits being created, because Misfits was like the real super team, and then TL was a super team, remember? And that they still end up failing at. They won domestically, but they failed at Worlds, and they at MSI at one point, and then MSF, and now Vitality, and now TL again. So we had 3 teams that had super teams, and so far hasn't worked out.
And then you could throw in the KT Rolster super team that everyone thought was going to end up, like winning worlds at one point. They were going to win like multiple splits, them going to MSI and having success there. That didn't happen either. They only won 1 title and went to 1 world championship, and they ended up only getting top 8. That's what ended up happening, So the whole thing with Gilioto and being Lego by TL makes perfect sense to me, honestly. Like, when you don't go to Worlds with that kind of a roster, you're going to have to end up changing something, whether it be coaching, whether it be players, whether it be analysts, what have you not. They're going to end up changing something. Now, when you look at the players that are on the roster and people go like, okay, why didn't it work out? People need to understand that, in life, there are things that just don't work out. Sometimes things just don't work out like that. It's just how life works. There's no real, like, true concrete answer as to the reason why it doesn't work. Some people just don't gel very well. Certain play styles in league just don't work very well. Like, even when the roster was constructed earlier on this year, I had mentioned the fact that Bjergsen as a player is not going to fit in very well with either Bwipo, which I thought was going to be Bwipo, or I thought it was going to be like Hansama's play style. Well, it turned out it was Core JJ, so I was kind of right in the same ballpark there. I just didn't think Bjergsen was the right fit for what Team Liquid actually needed. I think Jensen was fine for Team Liquid. The issue here is, Steve just always wants to change something. And if you're always establishing that's the kind of, roster you're always trying to build for the next season, as you're always trying to establish the fact that you're going to end up changing your roster consistently, it's one of those things where, okay, what are you changing out? Because coaching is really hard to judge since we're not exactly, with the team day to day. But is in terms of just Gilioto, having seen him with multiple different rosters and organizations, there have been times he's been given like better players than most people will ever have, actually. I'm pretty sure like a lot of coaches would kill to have a roster of just Bwipo and Santorin and Bjergsen and
stop the cap. Stop it.
They would. What are you talking about?
First of all, I blame Steve. And here's why. I would have kept Alfari. I would have tried.
I doubt he was going to stay. He was not staying after what happened.
Well, he got poached by Perks. Let's be honest. Like, let's.
But he wasn't going to stay anyway because of the whole Jat situation. He wasn't going to stay.
No, but Jat left, so it didn't matter.
Even after that, he was probably still so mad at what happened. He was going to leave anyway. There was no way he was staying. That was never.
I would have.
leaving.
Okay. I think the worst move that was made was Jensen. We know Jensen. At this point in Jensen's career, he will probably go down as the best, even though he's from EU and people are like, well, he's from EU. He'll probably go down as the best NA mid. Jensen has not missed a Worlds. Bjergsen has now missed 2 Worlds with 2 teams that were good. He missed it with 3 teams. He missed it with Broken Blade. And he had, remember that year when he had Broken Blade?
It was one. No. It was the what? Is Sven and Mithy roster?
It was
one with Broken Blade.
Wait. It was Sven, Mithy, Haunter, right? Was it Haunter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sven, Mithy, Haunter, Bjergsen, and who was the jungler? Armao.
Or back when they were calling him Grig.
Grig, yeah. And then he missed it again with TL. I mean, I'm sorry, man.
It'd be 3 times. The roster with Grig, the roster when they had a Kaden and Grig swapping out in 2019. So it was 2018, 2019, and 2022. He misses Worlds.
Yeah, so he missed 3 Worlds. Jensen hasn't missed 1 since he's been in NA. He may have missed MSIs. Well, fair enough. But he hasn't missed a Worlds. He's gotten out of groups, not once. I believe twice now at this point in his career.
Jensen?
No, once. Only once.
Oh, we're talking about Bjergsen. Bjergsen's only gone out once. That was in 2014.
Bjergsen once. Jensen's gone. Jensen's gone to semifinals. Bjergsen hasn't never been there. Jensen has always been top, no matter what. I would say Bjergsen was mediocre. That was the worst move ever. That was a PR move more than an actual player move, because it's like, we're gonna get the fan base of Bjergsen. He's well known. He's just gonna work well. No, that was a terrible move on Steve. Even he knows it. He's probably kicking himself for it. But that's a decision you make. But the notion of these super teams need to go. Like, ask yourself the question, right? People said Flandre was what? You don't think EDG was like, okay, we can make some changes? People think Flandre was subbed out during summer split of LPL, and I think between summer and spring he was subbed out at certain points, and somebody else was starting. But guess who's back at Worlds now? Flandre. Guess who helped them win to get into the one of the slots for Worlds? Flandre. What my point is these super teams. I think the West makes these super teams to compete with the East when it's about composition. Like whenever me and you break down drafts or Cole, it's always, does this draft work? What's gonna happen? How does it execute? Yada yada yada. And the notion, Gilly, I'm sure that there's gonna be more moves. I think from the way I've been watching Bukbo's streams, it seems like he might make a role swap because he says he's unhappy with top lane and he's been experimenting with stuff. So that's a possibility. And he shined when he was a jungler. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know if you keep who do you get to replace Hans Sama with? That's the best question because he's not there anymore.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, unless there's the rumors come true that they pull up their academy bot lane, which they're good players. But the problem here is people need to understand is like when you bring up academy players and people always say they're playing good in academy. Well, that's inherent lies the problem. Is like they're playing good up against academy level players.
Well,
how are they going to step up? Well, let's think. How are they going to stack up week to week playoff BO5s against LCS caliber players? Now, I'm not saying they aren't able to do that, and the games that we saw from them, they're actually really good. But it's just like when you have such a small sample size to go off of, that inherently lies the other problem. Is like, are you reading too much into the small sample size, or are they actually that good? Now, if they're going to really bring up their bot lane, which I really think they're going to bring up their academy bot lane, they're going to have to find that out. Now, it's just kind of how the process of those things go. the other thing about Giliotto is like with league and coaching, sometimes you have to have the right coach for that specific set of players, like Grabs was for G2, or like other coaches in the past, like Reaper was the right coach for that Cloud9 roster that went to semifinals in 2018. Sometimes you have to have the right coach and the right general manager, the right analyst for a specific set of players because of a myriad of different reasons, actually. So who knows? Maybe under a different coach, the TO roster succeeds. Maybe under like Peter Dunn's coaching, maybe the TO roster succeeds. It all just depends on who are you really picking to actually coach some of these players. When they already announced earlier last year that they were going to be putting Giliotto as the head coach, I already started like having going like, this guy's never been shown to prove anything with any of these rosters, even when some of his rosters have good players in general. Like we know some of the rosters he's have had players that have gone to be like some of the most well-respected players, even though they've had, faults here or there. Some of those rosters have looked with the players pretty darn solid. And later on with this guy, they've never really done anything holistically. So that's what I think about Team Liquid. I think they're going to end up keeping Santorin. I think it would be a mistake to get rid of that guy, given how well he played for them pretty much all year. There were moments where he did not play well, but overall, throughout most of the year, including playoffs, I think he played pretty fine, actually.
I think you let go of him. He's
depending on who you get, because if you let go of him, who are you going to get that's better than him? That's the problem with roster creations is you can let someone go, but if you don't get someone better or someone that you might think is better in the future, that guy might go to another team and start popping off, and then you lose to that guy. You're like,
I think he needs a change of environment, though. I don't because he's been.
You think it's Bjergsen? You don't think it's Bjergsen? Because dude, remember when Santorin was on FlyQuest?
But Santorin's been on there from even when Jensen was there.
Yeah, and people regarded Santorin as like one of the best junglers. Like he was top 4. Even when he was on FlyQuest with Power of Evil, people consider him like one of the best junglers. It's all of a sudden he's reunited with Bjergsen. He starts having some issues in like some of the weeks when they were playing together. Just like back in the day, he was on TSM with Bjergsen. He looked like complete shit. Like just before you were watching, because they played together before.
No, he made worlds with Santorin.
But during that year, he looked horrible with Bjergsen. I think it's something with Bjergsen that makes people just play worse with this guy. That's why that guy's a complete hack. Bjergsen's just a hack. I think it's just what he is.
I don't want to stay too long on this, like you said, but Giliotto, I hope he finds I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think he needs to maybe change up his coaching style and maybe go to a smaller team and work his way there.
Immortals too. That's the thing though. He did that with Immortals. He proved that he can have somewhat okay LCS level success with Immortals, and then TL got him, and then that didn't work out either. So I honestly don't know where he goes. Does he go back to EU? Does he stay in North America?
I think he go back to EU. I think there's.
You don't think a lower tier like LCS or would take him? Like Golden Guardians put out that they're gonna have like Inero be their GM, so they're looking to maybe rebuild. Oh, guys, don't buy into that offseason BS of some of these like worse LCS teams like Golden Guardians, Dig, and like some of these other like bottom tier teams. They always claim they're rebuilding, but unless you actually see legitimate, tangible results you can attach yourself to, it doesn't really mean shit. CLG was constantly talking about rebuilding and restructuring for many splits, and they finally got it done this year. So we'll see how it goes.
I think if he goes back, this is gonna sound. I think if he goes back to EU, I'm trying to think of a team that would really benefit. Maybe Heretics, because he has experience coaching in the LLC. He could work there with a new team. The team Heretics. Maybe even Vitality, because I think that roster is gonna get blown up a little bit too. So I think he should. But me personally, if I was him, I would go back to EU, because you can't really 100 Thieves is set, EG is pretty much set, and we don't know the status of TSM. So, And Cloud9 is set. But I'm assuming they're set now with Max Wall.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, though. People got to factor in, if you're an LCS winning championship team, you're for the offseason, unless your Worlds goes extremely bad, you're not going to be changing much of anything, honestly. Unless you're a team that goes to Worlds and you just completely like bomb, or it's just not going the way you think, or players think another player on the roster is just performing bad, simply just change some stuff up. But then again, as you guys already know, the offseason is going to be really, really spicy this time around. A lot of interesting players' contracts have ran up. So for the 2022 offseason, when the open agency period opens up in November, it's going to be crazy, actually. What's up, Professor Dark? How you doing, man? JJ, what's up? Intensive, what's up, guys? All right, so let's go on to the next topic for today's show, which is Carlos Ocelot is no longer the CEO of G2 Esports, the same esport organization that he founded, got into the league,
that hire women,
that has dominated the league for so long, brought in lots of legendary players that people still talk about to this day. I mean, this guy's done a lot for EU. He's been the only EU organization owner to win an international title, essentially like ever for EU, because I know some people don't count Season 1 Worlds. So if you don't count Season 1 Worlds, then he's been the only EU org owner to win anything internationally for Europe.
Or have a lot of success internationally, going far in runs.
Right, because G2's made World Finals, semifinals consistently. They even made semifinals in a year that most people thought they were dog shit. I'm a fan of them, man. I thought that team was fucking trash. And they still made semifinals. So this guy's did like pretty much everything you could think of, honestly. The only thing he doesn't have or never won was Worlds. But how many org owners can say, I got my team to World Finals? Man, you're especially in the West, actually. Not many. Actually, well, the only two would be, well, Fnatic's owner, Sam Matthews, and, well, Ocelot. So, as you guys know, last week, because we talked about this, Carlos put out a video that he was partying with Andrew Tate. Now, what we talked about specifically last week, I want to make sure I hammered this in. We do not know the context of why they were partying, only from what Carlos said. It was a G2, what was it? A celebration of whatever G2 was doing. It was a
world celebration. That's what.
So whatever esport G2 was playing in, they were celebrating. And then people saw Andrew Tate and went, oh, God, no, can't do it. It's like, what the hell? What the hell is that? And you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is going to have repercussions. Like I told Warren and I told Chaz, who's probably watching this show too, there's going to be repercussions. Guys, I've been watching this stuff since 2014. I know there's repercussions for this stuff. There not being repercussions was never going to happen. That was going to happen. And repercussions did happen. What did I say? This is going to cause people who invest into G2 not to potentially invest into G2. Now, at this current moment in time, that Carlos was having this big, like, Twitter cancel culture thing go against him, or whatever, as you call it, they were accepting people into the Valorant partnership program, which is just franchising, for the lack of better terms, right? So G2 did not make the Valorant partnership program, and apparently that lost G2 Esports about $15 million. Now, there's several things to break down when it comes to that being. So people are going to ask, like, how did it lose the money? Well, I'll just break it down for you. So remember, before Valorant was going to have partnership teams or a franchising system, remember this, guys, org owners are having to come out of pocket with these expenses for Valorant players, coaching, staffs, all that stuff, right? So you're paying players, you're paying the coaches, you're traveling to events, or you're playing events in online, just whatever the situation may be. So they were hoping to get into the Valorant partnership program to otherwise justify your investment, right? You would put in money for this brand new esport that is very, very growing, has a lot of people interested into it right now. People are going to put in lots of money for Valorant rosters. People put in a lot of money for Valorant rosters when the game first initially came out. People literally built competitive rosters for Valorant when it just existed, right when it dropped, like a few years ago, actually, or in like 2021, just built a bunch of rosters for that. Now, G2 were hoping and banking on the fact that they would get into the partnership program. So with Carlos's recent controversy, there was the confirmations that they were considering putting G2 into the Valorant partnership program, but due to the recent controversy, they decided to go with the other team. Now you're looking at that and going, they would rather take in a org that is less popular than G2 by a considerable margin. Okay, guys, G2 is one of the most popular Western esports organizations. Like, not just back then by how their branding actually is, by just what they are right now. Like, you tune into all the G2 esports games, like, even from like the last past 2 years, their games in the regular season, the playoffs, at Worlds are some of the most highest viewed games for for League of Legends. So it wouldn't make sense not to have them in the Valorant partnership program. It only makes sense because you'd want to bring in teams with big fan bases or semi-decent fan bases to drive up viewership numbers, because you have to prove you can have high viewership numbers actually, So you have that aspect as well. And then Carlos put out a video, we're going to watch it in just a moment, where he's stepping down as the founder and CEO. He's stepping down as the CEO right now of G2. He's still the founder, obviously, and I imagine he got a pretty impressive payout, obviously, for stepping down, because it was reported that they were going to actually have him take a 2-month, absence. They were going to just, basically bench him for about 2 months without any pay. But yeah, that's just really crazy. I know people on Twitter called it cancel culture. I know some people called it rightfully justified. It's only justified in the way that if he truly lost the company that much money, people need to understand, when you're the face of a company and you're the CEO, you get judged a bit differently than a random Tom, Dick, and Harry fucker. You just do. But then there's the other side of it that, Riot is actually ran by Tencent Games, which is in China, and that is definitely not a company that has morally stood on any values at all. Because I know people were talking about Carlos' situation, but my thing personally is there's been a lot of other heinous shit in esports that a lot of people barely talk about anymore, let alone even truly care about. Now, before I go into any of that, I'll ask Warren, what did you think about the whole Ocelot situation that happened this past week?
Oh, man. Well, my opinion is I'll stick by it because I'm not a backpedaler. And he is a CEO, but like you mentioned, there are other more egregious and atrocious acts committed in the esports industry. But yet, if you wave some money, it goes away. Nobody says anything. So there's where the hypocrisy is. Now, call me controversial, but I guarantee if it was, let's change it around, right? All right. Let's say it was a woman CEO celebrating, right? And it was a misandrist that's projecting toxic femininity. You switch it around, nothing happens. She's empowering. She's a boss bitch. She's a power woman. Blah blah blah, etc. So that's where the hypocrisy is there too. I don't think he should have lost his job. I don't think this is right because you're getting into territory that you don't want. Everybody, and I understand the argument that you brought, which was he's a CEO. We've seen many people throughout industries hang out with people that we would consider, that we say, oh, why are they friends? Like someone asked me a question. If I saw Donald Trump, would I wave hi? Yeah. Would I take a picture? Yeah, I would, because it's Donald Trump. Whatever.
Yeah.
But does that mean I'm a Donald Trump supporter? No, he's just a famous guy. Whatever does that like?
You sound you're a little groggy right now. You're cutting out just a tiny bit.
So the thing with Carlos is, I hope he finds a new org to help, because I think that he will do.
He do wonders on that org. Yeah, anybody would want to have him. Yeah.
He probably needs to lay low for a little bit, considering all the backlash that's happening. Mm-hmm. And in regards to Andrew Tate, I dare people to actually remove their feelings, whether you're a man or a woman, old or young, mm-hmm. and just listen to his message, and then be the judge for it. That's what I would say to anyone. And
that you see, disjointed, always bringing out the facts.
and lastly, because I this is Because I had people say to me that they totally disagree with me, and I'm like, you really don't see the big picture, right?
So if we're gonna bring up the CEO point, because we're not allowed to tackle a few things. So I still stand by what I said. As a CEO, there are just certain things that you get judged by harshly differently than most average people. Because
no, that's not right. That's not right because Rihanna.
But it's mostly a pick and choose situation, though. It's not like
Rihanna did something. I forgot what it was because I was watching it. Rihanna said something, and I guarantee if a man said it, they would have told him to step down.
Yes, because it's picking and choosing.
But that's not right. That's what I'm saying.
That's not how all these people think, though.
But but she's a CEO of a fashion and makeup.
You're cutting out a little bit. You gotta adjust your mic.
Yeah, she makes. Hold on. She makes a lot of money, and I'm not sure if she's a billionaire, but she makes hundreds of millions, and she represents a company probably more than Carlos because makeup and
definitely more. That's not even close. Right. She definitely has more.
But she said some things over. Cause I was like, let me look up some women that have done things or said things.
Well, the thing here is
people are just. I don't mean to cut you off, but you can't say people. We're both human. They're both human, and they're both holding respectable positions. That is why I've been saying you call a spade a spade. You don't. I literally looked. I'm like, not to like just target women. Women have said some stuff that are in high positions, but there's no accountability or no consequences to them. Carlos took that's why I'm not defending Carlos. I'm defending equality. That's totally. Totally
what I'm bringing up,
and I think
people are going to be just very selective of what they actually decide to go against. Though they're not thinking about right or wrong. People are just hypocrites. That's just what it is.
No, it's selective for a narrative because, like I said, if this whole thing,
Warren, you gotta adjust your mic.
My mic, it's the same mic I've been using.
Wait, you cut on just a tiny bit. You're like kind of getting groggy at like in parts of your sentences.
The point of the matter is that I like I said, CEO doesn't matter because we've seen people on Twitch, people lose their channels. The title doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. We're seeing people who do simple things lose positions. So to say CEO is irrelevant. There's people on Twitch that had hundreds, thousands of followers, even millions, right? But they do one thing, they're canceled. They're lost, right? So that notion of a CEO, that's bullshit. I'm not saying it to you. I'm just saying in general, that notion of a CEO.
Well, the face of a CEO is someone that you can tangibly target with that, actually.
Right.
That's the territory that comes with being a CEO. Right. That you are the face of the company, so people can selectively target you as a problem with all those issues that they have, though.
Right. But in the sense of what the thing is, just by associate,
that's the problem. Like, we don't even, and that's the whole big problem with this. And I get it, Carlos kind of doubled down on it, but even if he doubled down on it, it doesn't matter. Exactly. Nobody knows what the fuck was going on. So I know people about the fact that he doubled down on his friendship with him. Even if he did, that's also relevant because we don't know what Andrew Tate was doing there with him. And we shouldn't know. We're not his fucking wife.
That's
not his fucking girlfriend.
That's my point. I've been saying, that's why people say I'm defending. No, I'm defending people that are the right to hang out. Oh, of course, now this is the exception. Oh, what if it was Stalin? What if it was I don't know, Genghis Khan or some murderous person? Like, come on, man, that's an exception. There's
always exceptions to the rule.
But there's evidence for what those people did that were very egregious and very crimes against humanity, right? We don't, like you said, where is the proof that he's advocating for Tate? He's just partying. Like, you could go into.
We don't know if Andrew Tate was going to invest into any esport of G2. We don't know what he was doing. That's the thing, though. Is people have this like thing in their head where it's going to be he's coming in, misogyny, all sort of bullshit, and it's like we don't know any of that. You are assuming that there was no facts to back that up. There's all just feelings. That is all feelings, actually. Now, anyone who's watching this right now, you're not gonna fool me. I'm not one of those. You're not gonna fool me. People, even I, including myself, are probably friends with someone that they that other people are on the fence about. Or is that a fair assessment? People not even watching this, I mean, I could include myself in that, are probably friends with someone that other people probably find very repulsive, maybe sexist, misogynistic, depending on their political views, whatever.
I'm friends with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yikes. So yeah, that's also one of the things too.
So
is
what the fuck did I just hear? So
Hi.
because we didn't know what was going on, that made it all right for Carlos to then act like a toddler for a week straight after he, people just casually said, maybe you shouldn't appear in a video with like literally one of the most hated people in North America right now, and after signing a female, team that might not be the best look as a CEO, and then acted like a toddler. So yeah, I'm missing the big picture here. Also, I guess when you have a reputation for just bullshitting and doing this bullshit all the time and breaking every Riot Games rule out there for like a decade, then I guess this is what happens when your entire history is corrupt people.
Now,
whatever.
I mean, Carlos has always been the guy to be a bit edgy, and I've always kind of respected him.
No, not just edgy, breaking the rules constantly.
And I mean, this is just one of the things that I see is like people break rules all the time for this shit, all the time. Also, let's make sure we point this out. Reginald literally was on camera abusing his players. All he got from TSM's corporation was he has to do training to be a better person.
Yes,
where's that guy getting suspended?
Okay, yes, there's people who break rules all the time, yes, but
also one of the TL investors that I figured out, I knew this a while. Well, I also knew this a while ago too. One of TL's biggest investors is someone from Saudi Arabia, and we know Saudi Arabia does not like gay people very well. Yet TL is someone that propounds that they're for LGBTQ rights. One of their biggest investors is someone from Saudi Arabia.
No, there is a but, because I
mean, not okay. The but is like not everybody is gonna be.
Nobody does it more than Reginald and Carlos, and B, no one's defending all that stuff either.
So I have to ask you, I'm not a Carlos defender, but where's your proof for Carlos?
What proof?
You need proof.
You talking about the posting rules? You're talking about the posting rules, right?
That was Perks. That was not Carlos. That was Perks. The only thing that Carlos admitted to coming out was he did not want Perks to go to Fnatic. He literally came out on a stream and he even said it. He was like, I didn't want to give my competitor. I didn't want to.
And he broke a rule in the Riot Games guideline. Good job.
But he paid a fine. So
yeah, whatever.
Wait a minute. So he pays a fine. That's whatever. That's my point.
What do you mean? It doesn't matter if there's a fine. Either way, he still broke the rule, and that's just and he's broken the rule many times. So that should just tell you
it's one of these things where like there. Carlos's personality has always been like edgy, because I've seen this guy for a long. Edgy, gonna go against the grain kind of thing. I don't ever mind that, because if you, it's hard to explain to people.
I mean, the most pathetic part is that he tries to pull that off, but then he gets trolled all the time by people like Freak. It's hilarious.
It's just one of these things where like, how is it that someone who's confident in who they are, who's a bit abrasive, and it's just a little cocky, why is that a bad thing? I've never understood that. Because people are just intimidated punk bitches. It's what they are.
That's not what it is. It's and I'm sorry to call it out what it is. What is being portrayed now in the Western world, I don't know about other parts about the world because I can't comment, but the Western world that's exposed to like technology, all that stuff, men are supposed to be soft, show more emotion, not be, confident, cocky in certain circumstances, just be strong. That is labeled now as bad. Now, you said about, because I didn't forget, Cole, you said about the Perks thing. Perks actually initiated most of the poaching because he was in talks with people before Carlos, because he's not allowed.
Perks have been doing that since
he's been doing that before.
Yeah,
so
cool. Then he's an asshole too. Your point?
Oh, my point is, again, it's not like he hasn't. my point is Carlos always admits it. So damned if you don't admit it, damned if you do admit it. So he's taking accountability. My point is, what we're talking about is not Carlos.
Yeah, after he broke the rule, whatever.
I'm not talking about Carlos. That's what I've been always saying. I'm talking about that. What about women CEOs that do almost the same egregious stuff, caught on camera, but they're not given any of the same harsh consequences? That is I'm calling a spade like a spade.
Okay, well, and I'm
also,
not.
let's factor in Riot Games.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you there. I don't know what you're. Again, I don't get your point. It's like
my point is you're saying that this CEO needs to be accountable, but what about the female CEOs that do the same thing?
Yes, and I said they should too. Your point.
My point. So then, why is he giving a heart? Why is he told to step down when others don't? That's my point.
Oh well, that's just the industry. I don't know why you're coming at me with that.
No, because it's a fair statement, but no one can.
No,
give
because
me an answer.
I agree too that they should get punished. You should be saying that to the
but
people.
Nobody's. But
don't.
everybody's.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
I can to the man.
I can fundamentally understand. I can fundamentally understand what, like, not how people can like understand in their own brains that the company that they work for is very, very, I don't know, sexist, misogynistic, all that other shit. So the thing I'll bring up about Carlos is the point I had earlier, which is people are just super intimidated by a confident person. I've talked about that on my other channel. When we go over our other shows on that channel, is people who are not confident, people who are kind of like timid, someone who appears confident and not just even super smart at what they're doing, just super confident will scare some motherfuckers off. Carlos has always been kind of like abrasive, confident, kind of snarky. That intimidates people who are typically gamers, who are just introverts, who don't actually have that kind of personality.
Well,
I've never understood why that's not a bad thing.
Well, yes or no, because yes, that has happened all the time with, just like Jack and Steve, for example, and so and then it's just they get a lot of haters for dumb reasons just because of that. But no, people hate Carlos just because he acts like a fucking toddler all the time and breaks rules. The end.
Well, it's just one of those things where like people expect, like people will go like, well, why isn't Carlos like Steve or Jack? Because they're completely different people. That's kind of like how those answers are,
Yeah.
Like, I can't expect the way I would act is the same way I expect you two to act. That's ridiculous.
And my thing is, again, and people think I'm defending. No, I'm defending a person's right to hang out whoever they want, regardless of CEO, janitor, homeless guy, famous person.
Okay,
doesn't matter.
Besides,
it doesn't matter.
Okay, but besides the odd person on Twitter, in their mom's basement, with their ham and cheese sandwiches as perks. Although it's kind of ironic for him to say that because the actual people in their, mom's basement with their ham and cheese sandwiches are the people like who are G2 fans buying G2 merch constantly. But nonetheless,
my World's jersey yesterday.
Yeah, okay, but nonetheless, nobody was saying that. They were just, they have the right to say what they want about that situation, and they were just saying, I don't think it's a great look, a CEO is, one of the biggest orgs, whatever you think about Andrew Tate or not, or how much of it is real. That's what he's known for right now. Is kind of like that one dude who like raised the prices on that medicine that one time and became the most hated man in the world, and then almost ran a League of Legends team, almost got one in the LCS, but then Golden Glue and his team stopped it. They were just saying that, and people in the industry, and then he fucking had a fucking spaz attack over for like a week straight, cried like a little bitch, lost them 15 plus, lots of slots, lots of players, lots of streamers. So then, step down. I'm missing the part here.
I'll tell you what. No, because he didn't. One, he wasn't negotiating anything with Tate. Two, there's no proof that Tate's going to be investing in a stock or anything. Three, he's at a party. Wait, I'll let you talk. He's at a party like anybody else. It could have been a random. He could have invited him. The video was like 10 seconds, and it was a celebration. That's his party. That's his life. Now, don't get me wrong. If this was like someone standing with Putin or something, okay, we know that what the egregious thing is. But again, we don't know anything. He's just hanging out. And 5, we're discrediting all the actual, like MSK brought up earlier, the history. Like, without G2, EU is irrelevant in LOL esports. Let's call, like, Fnatic's okay, but G2 has done way more than Fnatic.
It's not even
so
close.
Let's Fnatic.
And also, it's fact in a
Love him
short
or
amount
hate
of
him.
time. In a short amount of time, that Fnatic was in the league.
Like,
Remember,
love him
G2
or hate
just
him,
came
he's
in.
done more for EU esports than Fnatic. And actually, Fnatic is actually cheaper when paying their players than G2 was.
And it's also the other thing no one brings up is the same company that this game is ran by. People have to factor in. Riot got in trouble for people in their company. Not saying all the employees did this. Obviously, that's not true. The main culprit dudes that were sexually harassing women, Riot got a big lawsuit for that. They settled out of the court for like
$150 million lawsuit, but they're still operating. Game's not shut down.
You don't hear any of the cast. I know on fucking Twitter, Medic was like, "Fuck Riot, fuck all that shit." I'm talking about people consistently doing this. Okay, Riot as a company, literally, not every employee. Obviously, if you're an employee that didn't do that, I'm not talking to you. Obviously, I'm talking to the guys that did it. One of the guys that did it is still working there. Okay, the guy that put that woman's head to his butthole and farted into her face, dry humped her, whatever. The guys that did it are still working there. Why aren't they fired?
Thank you.
Same thing with Reginald. Yeah, dude, CEO training. Why can't Carlos do CEO training?
Okay, so
why
what
can't,
does literally any of this
why can't Carlos get afforded?
Because
why can't Carlos get afforded CEO training?
People are just grifting because of a movement. They're not looking at the actual logical.
Okay, I do not care. Stick to the point, Warren.
The problem here
that is the point. What do you mean?
The problem here is that people are picking and choosing what they're going after when they're not consistently standing for the stuff.
And that's what I just said.
I said I agree, but I don't pick and choose. And
I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is other people that are in the industry are basically picking and choosing what they're standing for, which is all that stuff becomes hyperbolic semantics at that point. It's like you don't really actually care. You're just doing this because it's a person you can target right now with whatever you're thinking about this person. We don't know what Andrew Tate was doing there. Nor should we care because we're not hanging out with him. We're not his friend. You know? It's like you're just chilling with someone. That's it. That's literally what happened. He just posted a video about him hanging out with a friend. That's it.
Okay, and there was nothing wrong with that in the first place. They literally just gave the suggestion, maybe you shouldn't associate someone like with what he's been known for right now. Like you said the Putin comparison. In North America, he's kind of on that level right now. I'm not saying he is as a person, but that's what he's fucking being known for right now. So yes, they just gave the suggestion, and then he acted like a toddler, lost all that money. So yeah, what are you gonna do? So it's not picking or choosing.
And Carlos from a business standpoint, that I can understand.
No, Carlos walked off the plank himself. Nobody made him do it. But anyway, the majority of what you guys said just now had nothing to do with my point there. But the one you did is
one point you didn't bring up either.
You don't know the point. You don't know. No, none of it had anything to do with what I said.
No. One of the things you didn't bring up was that people just didn't tell him to stop being friends with Andrew Tate. That's part of what happened. The other layer to that was people legitimately deemed whatever Andrew Tate was standing for to Carlos.
Oh, also MSK.
That's exactly what happened.
His ex-wife literally came out with a statement.
No. If you go through all those replies, a lot of the people that were against Andrew Tate took all the Andrew Tate problems they had with him and directed them at Carlos. That is completely unfair.
That's unfair.
That's ridiculous.
That is not true.
Like
that
how
is
was
true.
What happened? What?
Like literally,
despite Carlos hiring an all-female
minority.
Team. No, not
stop
even
it, Sean. Stop it.
Stop it,
and
plus, those are the people I was talking about, the shitters.
Stop capping. There's a reason why.
I'm not saying you're sticking up for these people. What I'm saying is like everyone projected what they hate about Andrew Tate onto Carlos. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when your decade-long history is corrupt as fuck. People will hate you and don't give you the benefit of the doubt. By the way, no, that was a small amount, and those were the shitters I was talking about. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the actual people in the industry, like who work for LEC and shit. And so no, the majority had nothing to do with what I said. But the one relevant point you made is that we don't know the context of the video, which again though the video has nothing to do with it. Nobody's
that if you hang out with somebody and you're partying. So what? Just because he's a CEO and partying, he loses everything that he's bought from the ground up. That makes no sense.
Let me finish. I was getting to that. No, but yeah.
But that's what you've been saying, though. That's why I can't.
No, here's the thing. Nobody was saying that. They were just that, like, again, we don't know the context of the video, yes, but that doesn't matter. Because they weren't saying, you know, they were just saying, with that guy's reputation, you might want to like take that because as a CEO, it's just a bad look that they were just saying that,
Okay,
and
I
then
have a question
he
when you're
acted
done.
like a spaz over it. Like, what's the problem?
I have a question then. So what about the people that are currently on YouTube that bring Andrew Tate on? They're I know one guy, I forgot what it's called, Hustler or something. He has like over 900,000. I forgot, it was like two guys interviewed. They do like male podcasts, not like Andrew Tate. They have him on. Why aren't they canceled? They had him on like
Oh my god.
they had him on to discuss why he got banned off of.
Okay, because number one, once again, the context doesn't matter with the
But it's
video
Andrew Tate.
because that's not what Carlos got fucking stepped down and lost all that shit for. It's his attitude afterwards. But secondly, the context actually does matter a bit in that situation. One's clearly everyone knows the intent of that person interview. The other one is partying with a guy, so you don't know if you're friends with him, if you are friends with him, if you agree for shit, if it's just like you met him at a party one night and just recorded
But
a
my
video for the
context is important
memes.
too. If they
But
don't like this
either way,
man's message, then why would you have him interviewed?
What?
If you don't, if he's such a bad person, so my context does matter, even though you're making it seem like
No,
it's
because
irrelevant.
there are many people who interview people who they don't agree
but
with.
if he's banned, why would you even allow him to still talk to people if you don't want to promote him at all? That is my point.
No,
Like,
and that's valid to bring up. Yes.
So, but that's what I'm saying.
So then people can disagree with that. Yeah, just like how they can disagree with the video of him partying, and he can refrain from acting like a little bitch over it.
But therein lies the context of that. The video is just them partying. People act like they're like killing someone on camera.
I mean, I just said that. What do you mean?
So
I
then
said
why
that.
does he have
what
to
I'm
do
bringing up-
everything? That's
partying,
what I'm bringing up is they're not doing anything in the video by just partying. Yes, you can have your opinion on it, but your opinion is not only misguided, it's wrong because you don't know what's going on. You can have your opinion on it. To be fair, you can have your opinion on anything. But unless you really know what's going on, are you really saying the right thing or have an idea of what's going on? It's just a video of two dudes partying. That's it. So what are you gonna? So what's your opinion really supposed to be like? Have a good time. I don't know.
And then people's opinions was just like, hey, he's been known for some pretty bad stuff right now. Maybe it's not the best for you,
which all been denied. Which all has been denied.
But the only thing that I really got mad about,
what do you mean all has been denied?
His allegations have been cleared. There's not like they've been proven. I'm not defending people. I like to look up stuff because I want to know what is so popular. Like I've seen them.
I looked into not all of them have not been denied yet, and there's still some just like the Ezra Miller situation, the worst shit. I mean maybe, but the smaller shit he's definitely sorry, but either way though, I said before earlier in the stream, it doesn't matter whether he's innocent or not. That's what he's known for in the world right now.
So that means, for instance, when people are given false allegations, right? Just regular people, and they didn't do anything wrong. Let's just say like how often where someone says they've done something and comes to find out that they lied or that it never happened. That's now on their record.
That's a different situation.
But what are you talking about? If the allegations is not true, it's the same thing. You can't. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, no, we don't know if all the allegations are not true, and a lot of people don't know it. And again, that's a completely different situation. Somebody who's just like accused or something like sexual assault and then cleared in court, and then somebody like to the extent like this, and who
what happened with Johnny Depp. Because if he doesn't have proof, everybody believes Amber Heard.
This is a completely different situation. Like the character,
people massively believe her.
People massively believe her allegations, and look what it did to his career. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's completely different from somebody who like built a fucking legacy of like this either this character or real of just like fucking being a misogynistic bastard, and
That's
that
not the point.
everybody knows
That's
of
not the
in views
point.
of just that.
That is not the point. What I'm saying is Johnny Depp, right, was a well-known, highly marketable influx of money for the Pirates of the Caribbean. If he did not have the proof, his life was going to continue to be messed up, and he had power. He was well known, and he had to bring out people out the woodwork to make sure that these allegations would go away. But prior to that, everybody was on the thing. Oh, this Amber Heard, this, that, blah, 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 rah, rah, for Amber Heard. That's what I'm saying. Allegations can do, even if they're not clear or cleared, they're stuck with you. That's why it's a detriment. That is my point.
Okay, but the Andrew Tate one is a completely different situation.
How is it a different situation if the allegations
I just explained how it's a way different situation than just a random dude who was accused of sexual assault.
Is there proof? That's my point.
Doesn't matter. That's what he's viewed for most of the world. So it's not a good look as a CEO.
If you don't have proof, you cannot. You're just making that's become slander. Let's not be delusional about that. That's slander. I'm not defending. I'm going by facts. If you don't have the proof, it's slander. And people do that in political spectrums, in the business spectrum, all the time.
And this is one thing I might add to that. All those like shitty analysts that were under Carlos's post saying that they knew these things. These people can barely speak about League of Legends teams. Do these people really do research on Andrew Tate? I'm calling bullshit on that. These are people that have said certain things about other regions' teams that have been completely disproven and wrong. Yet they've claimed that they know about Andrew Tate. I highly doubt that. I'm just saying, that's kind of bullshit.
All I'm saying, Cole, is that people are just grifting to grift this point. Like this.
I want to be a grifter. How do you do that?
It's wrong. It's wrong. And when you call them out, it's like, well, they said this.
I'm not disagreeing that there's other people that should be punished here. Again, that was never my point coming into this.
That's not what I said. Also,
you're still just doing a 180 here. And
no,
the thing you have to remember is majority of those other incidents were years ago before this action.
But look at the detriment it did, though.
Huh?
But look what the detriment that Amber Heard did to John. They kicked him out of Pirates because of what she said. How is that right?
What does this have to do with anything?
Because she made an allegation that was never proven. That is my point. Andrew Tate's allegations aren't proven. There's no it's not on record or anything. These are just allegations.
Yeah, however,
it is. Once you make an allegation,
yeah, it isn't completely disproven yet either. And either way, the guy has purposely made like a monarchy up for himself of just being known as like a misogynist, whether it's a character
done that in the past,
or not.
Though. They just picked him for a martyr. Who hasn't done that in the past? There's been plenty of people dating coaches that say to do this and that. They're just not as known. They just picked the martyr.
Either way, he is. That's what he's known for. He's literally like one of the most hated, viewed people in North America right now. I don't.
Yes, that's the
once again, I don't understand how any of this has to do with anything I said. That's what he's known for right now.
He hasn't done an act of violence. He hasn't done anything. Nothing has been proven of violence. He's not spewing out hate. And he's just. There's other people that put out more harmful messages than him. Like, I don't know, racism, radical religions, all sorts of stuff. And I'm not defending him. I'm saying if we're going to call us like this toxic masculinity, this misogyny, whatever, like MSK said, like Thorne pointed out about how a team supported the Saudi Arabia, with Saudi Arabia and other deals. Why aren't people calling that out?
And Carlos supported it too, so. I mean, there's another thing.
Which one?
What?
No, actually, he talked it down because if you check out the Four Horsemen, he did not support it.
I thought you were talking about the one with Saudi Arabia investing into the.
Calm the fuck down.
Are you talking about the Saudi Arabia one with the whole gay people like that happened last year?
No, that was a joke, but.
Well, this is my thing. Okay, this is
I
my
am
thing.
calm. I'm just like I said, I'm about facts. So
I mean, again, all that still had nothing to do with it. But
Well, what I'm talking
it
about
does,
specifically
but
is
you're
people
ignoring it.
project.
That's
No,
your choice.
ignoring what? You're
people-
still bringing up nothing. I'm saying.
People literally
How did
pointed
I
out.
not bring up anything? Tell me
It
what I did.
still doesn't matter what's true or not with Andrew Tate. That's
Tell me
how he's viewed.
tell me how guilt by association is fair. Tell me that.
Once again, I'm not saying it is. That's what he's viewed.
That's what
by the
masses
whole world
are saying,
right now, though, and it's a different
That's-
situation from somebody
That's what I don't
being
agree
falsely
with.
accused with somebody just living
That's
their
what I
life.
don't
to
agree
somebody,
with. You
to then
cannot just
somebody
point,
who's
you
like
cannot point out
purposely
somebody
making a
like
monarchy for
that. Doesn't
himself.
matter who. You cannot point out someone like that. And just because I stand with my friend, CEO, celebrity, sports star, Pope, just because I stand with someone in a picture doesn't make me the bad person. You might not like that guy, but you don't put that on me. And it doesn't have to be Carlos. It doesn't have to be you, MSK, any random person out there. That is my whole premise I've been talking about. But yet people are only saying that his brand and what it does, but yet nobody's talking about like
because this is how we know that.
Okay,
this
so
is the problem.
Hold on. Your point you're bringing up is that because there's other things they've done, other orgs have done that are worse.
I didn't bring up orgs.
Or
I'm
as
talking
bad.
about
Is that what you're saying, Warren?
No, I'm not talking about orgs. I'm talking about. I just said. I'll say it again. Just because I hang out with someone that you may not like, that does not make me a bad person, and that should not reflect on what I build up. Okay, but they weren't
saying that. They were just saying that's a
That's
bad
what
look.
the masses are saying. I'm not saying you, or I'm not saying you. That's what the masses and
also, we need to make
sure
we point this out. I need to make sure I point this out. This is very key to the context of it. When you brought up that the Andrew Tate point, where I said to people who are watching this, people attributed this stuff that they associate Andrew Tate with specifically to Carlos. They actually did, because in G2's official press release, they officially said, we don't stand for misogyny. So either one of two things to happen. They think Carlos specifically stands for that, or I don't know where else that would come from. Where else would that come from? Why would they put that in their official press release? If you go look it up right now, G2's official press form says, we do not stand for any form of misogyny. So they think other people in the company who invested into it, they think Carlos stands for what Andrew Tate does. That was the biggest point of it. People thought whatever Andrew Tate stood for, that's what Carlos stood for.
And that's an official statement that you can look up on Twitter.
G2 actually said that. And for anyone who's not going to believe me watching this back, I'll show you right now. They actually said that. If they deleted it, that's fucking bullshit. I know I read that shit. I was going to make a video about this too.
So the crowd you're talking about are the shitters that I said to ignore.
No. Even the organization that Carlos worked for thought this. That's not just random people. That's his actual business. That's different.
Well,
right here.
No, they say that just, put that out there. They're not saying they think Carlos stands for it. They're just saying they, to push it out there to make the message clear.
Right here, in this context, we want to underline that we do not support any form of misogyny.
And that doesn't say that they think Carlos or anyone else does.
Well, why would you put it in that statement then? You don't need
because
to
put that out there. It's like, all right,
why?
it's like those Twitter sports team accounts who made those Black Lives Matter things, and then they didn't actually focus on that. They didn't actually focus.
Okay,
on the
Sean.
like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I
understand. I understand. It's a PR move. I understand.
Okay.
I understand it's a PR move, but
okay, no. But let me finish. All right, now it's like those accounts who made that shit, and they didn't say anything. Like, we don't stand for racism and police brutality and the murder of George Floyd. That we are just like, we love everybody, no hate. It's like those pathetic things. It's like they were just fucking putting that out there.
But as they write right here, it was the announcement. This was because of the Carlos situation, though. They put this out in tandem with Carlos's announcement video that he stepped down. So either one of two things are true. Either they're saying this to Andrew Tate or Carlos, or one of them. Because that's not a coincidence.
Andrew Tate, they're not saying
you don't think it's that people that think that Carlos is attached to Andrew Tate, he probably thinks these same things?
Exactly what I said.
They're just pushing it out there that they don't stand for it, that it's the org, not the, Carlos is separate from the org. They were just put.
I don't believe they think that, actually. I truly believe that they think that because he hung out with Andrew Tate, he thinks those things. People are definitely
as you said with the context of the video, we don't know. You see how that comes around now?
No, but in this context,
I've always stick to that point.
But in this context, we know that this came out the same time as Carlos put out his video. So we can. This is just inferring, obviously, yes, but who are they speaking to with this? The CEO that they just stepped down, or Andrew Tate? Because people already know that they don't stand for Andrew Tate, because in the previous article, in the previous press release that they put out with the Andrew Tate Day, that came out the same day as the Andrew Tate Day. So they were definitely talking about Andrew Tate. In this one, are they talking about Carlos, or are they talking about Andrew Tate, or are they talking about
And
both?
Andrew Tate has no association with G2, so who are they talking about then?
I assume I do, man. I assume they're talking about Carlos, though. I do assume that.
Because last I know, Andrew Tate isn't on G2's payroll.
Because they specifically mentioned Carlos in that too.
They're not talking about anyone. They're just saying, pushing the message. That's all. All orgs do this with everything.
But okay, for instance, right? His ex-wife.
Oh, right here. I have it right here.
His ex-wife came out before you spit that. His ex-wife came out and says, Carlos. I forgot it. She wrote a long thing saying Carlos is nothing that people are saying about. Like, he's a good guy. His ex-wife is saying that. So, and you're not gonna coerce your ex-wife, to put that on the internet for everybody to see.
I hope not. I mean, you never know.
Because I'm sure he is a good guy, but he's still a shitter.
Okay.
So right here, I want to make sure let me point this out. This came out the same day about the Andrew Tate thing, and it said, "Last night we failed you. The actions of our CEO spoke a language in stark contrast with the values and the culture G2 lives by and strives for." That is directly at Carlos, because they're especially mentioning CEO. Like in the other one, they mention the stepping down of the CEO. I'm almost 95% sure that's Carlos.
I think that more has to do with his toddler, behavior, and not losing the millions and slots and everything.
Also part of it too.
My point is, and I'm gonna keep standing by it. My point is not about Carlos. My point is not about. I think you could have been. I don't know. Let's use someone that's well beloved by people. I don't know. Ryan Reynolds, right? Let's say Ryan Reynolds, right? I don't know if people like him or hate him. He hangs out with Trump. Are we gonna be crucifying him now? Let's not go see a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Ryan Reynolds, right?
Ryan Reynolds.
Who?
People, or you can use another one. People know that.
I asked who did what?
If Ryan Reynolds, let's not use Carlos. My example is let's use someone that. Pick someone Cole, that is liked by everybody. Just pick in a mass audience around the world.
He means me.
That is liked.
I'm well liked, right, Sean?
Sure. Yeah, I'll pick MSK.
Jesus Christ!
No, do not pick MSK. Stop that.
Wait, you say I'm not well liked? Listen, what the hell?
Yeah. Once again, okay. So it seems like. So far this stream,
answer the question. Answer the question.
So far this stream, 50% of your points, which is stuff like this, I literally said I agree with on Twitter in my other posts.
And I have a point. I'm asking you a question.
And then
exercise with me. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, MSK, let's go.
Okay, no, I was definitely joking.
Not MSK. Let's be. I said someone that's a celebrity.
Okay.
The other sports figure. Someone in hockey that was well beloved.
Yeah, wait. Jesus, fuck. The way I heard that, I thought you said sports N-word.
No.
Jesus Christ. Let's see. Let's go with. Let's go with. Let's go with Tom Brady. There we go.
Tom Brady.
Okay, Tom Brady.
The child kisser.
Okay, let's say Tom Brady, right, is at a party with Donald Trump. Is Tom Brady a bad person now?
With Donald Trump, is Tom Brady a bad person? No.
Okay, so and Tom Brady is wait a minute. So Tom Brady, right, is well known, probably beloved in Boston, has a high figure. Probably if he doesn't go to Tampa, he's basically the Patriots organization. Considered the GOAT. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. He's not gonna. You said no. That is my point this entire time. I don't agree with a mob mentality. Someone who built anyone, whether it's a man or a woman, if there's no proof behind them doing these things that whoever they associate with them, should not be crucified. That's not fair.
This is still irrelevant.
It is
Number one,
irrelevant.
Andrew Tate is completely different when somebody like fucking Donald Trump. But secondly, though,
Like Trump's
I'm
considered
sorry, I'm
a
thinking of like
misogynist.
other thing. Fucking
Trump
keep
is also
forgetting.
considered a racist, actually.
And a
A lot of
racist,
things.
actually.
But again,
Lots of things.
the
Lots of
mob
things,
mentality that would come from the Tom Brady thing would be the same shitters in the replies on Twitter who don't matter. All right, and we've seen this before. Like there was a YouTuber I am friends with who just did like a video, like a fun topic involving like that UK politician like Boris Johnson, and he got some shit for it from those shitters and lost a bit of subscribers. Or well, those are just the shitters; they always come and go. All right, that still is irrelevant to the main point, which is just the shit that LEC casters and stuff brought up, and then him acting like a toddler with it afterwards. So I'm still missing the correlation here.
The correlation is that even though
if you were just saying irrelevant to what you think about the Carlos situation and just bring it up at that point in general, I already said on Twitter a million times I agree with that. 50% of this stream so far, either 50% you have still you just done a 180 on my point and proven nothing yet, and the other 50% and the other 50% I said already that I agree with, like such as people not going after other things for other bad things. I said I agree with that. That's why I made a joke saying one down, 800 to go.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Carlos. Even MSK knows I'm not a G2 fan, but I am not for one. I don't believe that a person, like Thorin, we know Thorin has the insides on a lot of things. So does Monty. And from what Thorin said on his 4 Horsemen, because I was watching that, Carlos has done more good than bad. There's a lot of people you don't like, MSK don't like, and whatever. That's your opinion, right? Fine, that's your opinion. We can't challenge that. That's fair okay, enough. Right? But if we look at the facts, Carlos has done way more good for the G2 brand than bad, and one moment has ruined his life, and that's not fair.
Perks.
Huh?
And like
that's a weird way to say Perks.
He hired Perks. He paid him.
Perks carried his org, man. Sorry.
With whose money?
His own.
I hate you. Go to hell. Go to hell.
That's my point. But
so my thing here is,
you're saying he's done more good. Yeah, I'm sure. What's the point to the whatever?
My thing
because his reputation got brought down because of one moment with Andrew Tate.
It'd be because he wanted to act like a spaz, yeah, and it cost him
money.
That's
your opinion, though.
So we got let go because of money. The end.
My thing here is people just overreacted. That's literally what they did. They just overreacted.
Exactly.
That's pretty much. People just overreacted. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, what if Jack is out partying with Joe Biden? I mean, that might be accepted because most people are fucking dirty, stinking leftists, but, is Jack a bad person for hanging with Joe Biden?
No, that's his choice.
I don't know. One of Steve's owners is one of these Saudi Arabia's, whatever, I forgot what it's fucking called. One of these Saudi Arabian people that fund Team Liquid might hate gay people. Another type of group of people that Saudi Arabia definitely doesn't like. Steve against gay people? I don't know. That would be a pretty bad thing, right? To be known as a bigot. I don't know, honestly.
How long ago did this happen?
This was a few years ago when it was. Yeah, we saw the investors.
Again, all these incidents that don't get.
I'm not saying that people didn't talk about them. They definitely talked about them.
Now,
but
if they happened today, then yeah, they would be brought up to the same extent. It's just
I doubt it.
Now.
I doubt it. Come on.
The only reason why I doubt it on one aspect is because Carlos has been shown to be abrasive and kind of snarky and just confident. That confident personality.
More like an asshole and breaking rules.
So yeah. I mean, so even if you want, even if that's what you want to say, Steve and Jack are more calm spoken. They're not as like hated, obviously. So people would be more inclined to give them a free pass if that were to happen based off who they portray in media standards. Carlos is going to be who he's going to be. which might scare people. That intimidates people, though. If you're not a confident person, someone being confident like that is going to intimidate you. That's why certain guys can't talk to women.
I would not say that because Steve and Jack get the same shit from some people for how they do things, but either way, once again, those are from the shitters on Twitter. We ignore.
Or earlier this year, Jack fired LS. Does Jack hate gay people?
What kind of argument is that? No, and he did get shit for that.
He did, but is he a bigot for that?
Well, he's the Steve situation when that Saudi again. If it happened today, no one. No, because what they did with Carl, again, ignoring the shit is we ignore all the incel shitters, all right, people, and they don't matter, and they don't do, and just like the riot storm, Black Lives Matter, they didn't actually do shit. It was the protests from around the world that did, not the riots, and those fucking bastards destroy. I'm not black, so I can't get away with saying the word, but you know. Okay, but they would just say the same
Jesus
thing as they
Christ.
did here. They would just bring up. I mean, that's not a good image. Maybe should reconsider, and then just like everybody did when LEC got that Saudi Arabia sponsorship. Besides, outside of the shitters, they weren't like attacking LEC. They were just saying, please, reconsider, make the change. It's not a good. It's not something you want to be associated with.
Also, Fnatic fans.
And
Fnatic
yes,
fans should definitely be thankful to Carlos for keeping Fnatic as an organization around. If Carlos didn't loan Fnatic that money, Fnatic's gone. It's actually something you can look up, and that's definitely factual.
Okay, but anyway, now and then.
Let's just brush that off.
What do you mean? Because that doesn't have to do with anything.
What I'm trying to say is,
I've been unbiased this time.
Well, what does the Fnatic thing have to do with anything?
What I'm trying to say is, why did not even a bad thing that he did get so overblown by people?
A 10-second clip.
Because here's the thing now. Because if Steve and the LEC then fucking went out afterwards and just went on a fucking tantrum, then yes, it would be. Just like to the same extent this was. That's the key difference.
It's a 10-second clip of him not saying a word and just a guy in a picture. That was it. There's nothing else. That's why I'm saying, let's take away Carlos. Let's say if it was Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle, and he's gotten a lot of heat about they wanted to cancel him off of Netflix, but they're not doing it. Thank goodness Netflix stick to their bones with that one.
Well, I hate Dave Chappelle fans, but they were annoying, and they're it's like I remember when he went. They'll just like cheer or laugh at anything. It's like they'll just breathe and they'll go. or it's like, and then when he was like at that stage thing doing it, his whole speech, after he was trying to they were trying to cancel him, he was just like, so here's my thing about the LGBT community, and people in the audience were like, boo! Like, what the fuck?
Well, that's our discussion about Andrew Tate and Ocelot. I just wanted to make sure we had a nice full length discussion on it. But I will tell you, anybody that's watching right now, do not, as you get older, do not just jump to conclusions on things, because that is actually just a life lesson. Don't do that. You will definitely make a lot more mistakes doing that in life. Just randomly jumping to conclusions, not knowing anything about the situation, just going, I'm gonna take a chair and just throw it out the wall.
And my final point.
Well, those people are the shitters on Twitter. They'll never take that advice. But the rest of the advice, which were all the people, who had jobs, yes, they did take that advice. They just gave him suggestions, and he cried, lost some money, fired, ripped bozo. Won't be missed. All I want to say in my
few sentences is that just go by proof. Find the evidence. Always go by proof. Always find the facts. And I believe that mob mentality that is rise, regardless of this situation, because there's been other situations people have had to defend themselves and actually came out on top. Mob mentality, cancel culture, and guilt by association is just running rampant, and you can't challenge it, or you can't bring facts to the situation. And that takes away from who we are as human beings, as to separate your feelings and emotions and just go by the bare facts. That is the most important, is to go by facts and I think that's key. And I don't care who it is, facts until proven and guilty. And I don't believe by guilt by association.
Also, the last thing with Carlos is never on camera abusing someone the way Reginald has. That's never happened. Well, Reginald's got to take classes to get better, right? Geez, I only just wish that was afforded to Carlos. I just only wish that was afforded to Carlos. He gets to take classes after we know he's been on camera verbally abusing people. I know he said he didn't do the other things. That's cool. But that's the problem is that stuff we've only seen on camera. We don't know. People say he's much worse behind the scenes. But yeah, and after all, lots of years, this is a prolonged period of time. This is not something recently. But, CEO training, right? Fuck my ass, dude. All right, guys.
Yeah,
so,
and he should step down as well. Your point?
I hate. So that's just my thing is when I'm bringing up my point is if you're gonna call out and be all for one thing, make sure the other people get the same level of treatment.
Oh, and I make sure of that. Don't worry.
Yeah, Sean, he definitely loves black people. He definitely been DMing me the N-word every single day.
Wait, what?
Okay.
No, well, I spread it out. I say the cracker. I say chinks. I say
all right.
all that.
So I want you guys. So anyone who's watching this is gonna want to talk about Worlds. Worlds literally starts tomorrow, so that's good. We're gonna do something fun today. I haven't did my pick'ems yet for a few things.
I don't like fun.
Stream. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, so right here we're gonna all choose to some extent. I'll have my own picks with some of the more bottom stuff down here. But right here,
this, by the way,
who will be picked the most during Champion Select at Worlds?
Yeah,
Make a pick.
Probably gonna be someone like MF or
I think Sivir.
You think Sivir?
Really?
Yeah, she hasn't received any nerfs. She's been
okay. Let's make sure we
but wouldn't
prioritize
she
this
be
first.
banned out then?
Okay, we need to make sure we prioritize this first. What is going to be the lanes that most of these teams play through, and the champion?
80 centric, mate. It's an 80 centric.
It's an 80 centric. If that's the thing, though. So, what would be the best ADC to pick? Not only as a flex, but just to have good, strong lane phases in general.
Okay, so let's say they ban out Zeri and Sivir. The only real picks are left are Aphelios and MF because MF goes.
You think Lucian too? No.
Lucian, I can see Lucian.
Listen, MF is the one that's being picked the most in Champions Queue right now.
I think.
But also it could be a jungler. It could be Hecarim or Lee Sin.
Also, fun fact, everyone.
Gonna get nerfed.
Lee Sin is one of the most. Lee Sin's the most picked champion of Worlds ever. So Lee Sin could come back, maybe potentially.
Lee Sin is coming back. They said it would. It always does.
I think Lucian. I think Lucian or Maokai has been on the rise as well.
Maokai was buffed. Yeah.
Gilius. No, oh God. Holy shit! All right. Who will be banned the most during Champions Select at World? Yumi for sure. Yumi is disgusting. Fuck that. Fuck this. I hate this fucking champion, dude. Fuck her. All right. Who will have the highest win rate at Worlds? Minimum 5 games played on the champion.
Renekton.
There could be Renekton, Azir. I was thinking a scaling mid laner actually. That's what I was thinking.
Ornn will have the highest win rate. You can't go wrong with that champion. And after 14 minutes, items. That's my pick. I don't know what Sean's pick would be.
Ornn was like my third pick over like Azir. The other one would be like, because you know how people like to play scaling
because Ornn you can blind.
No,
I was thinking Aatrox too.
Go through the thing again. Let me look at it.
Who will have the highest win rate at Worlds? 5 games minimum played.
Well, Sean's thinking about Cole. Well, Cole's thinking about that.
I mean, I think somebody like could be somebody like Camille.
It's not that pick either.
Though.
It's not bad.
Because you don't want to blind Camille. Because if you blind Camille, you can either pick Kennen or you can pick. She wins the side lane, right? But then Jax can go into Camille or Kennen.
Yeah. Yumi is going to be banned the most, definitely.
Who will be played in the most different role at Worlds? You think so?
She can play top and jungle, and she can play support if you really wanted to, or you could.
That sounds disgusting.
I haven't. It's either it has to be someone that you can flex jungle, top.
Yeah. It has to be someone at least you can flex into 2 roles. So if you can't flex into 2 roles, then it's
Maokai could be that. But
if you play Maokai support against T1, pack your shit up and go home.
Yeah, but I see Sejuani hasn't really received any real nerfs. She can go top.
I mean,
she can
is
go,
Tristana coming back?
Is it a late game centric meta?
I mean, we're talking about in different. Like she would go mid.
You have to
but
be
that's
flexing different roles. That's the thing, though. A champion that can go into one role or the other. I mean, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. What about someone like Wukong or Trundle?
Wukong got a lot of nerfs. Trundle can't be played. Trundle's not really played top.
Oh, true.
The thing about Sejuani, she sets up ganks. She can be blind pick as long.
The Angel champion. That's someone we're not remembering. Has to be.
Well, you have to you got to think about blind picking, right? And
Right,
let's say there's a bad matchup for Sedge top, right? You can just put her to jungle.
True, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick Gangplank, because Captain Shrimp's picked him mid.
Captain.
Yeah, that's the only. I mean,
Seraphine?
What about Renekton?
Oh, just for LS? Holy shit! Well, you actually can flex Renekton. I mean, I don't think they would pick Renekton mid, but you could actually flex Renekton.
Yeah, Renekton could go mid.
I'm sure Faker will one game.
Who will have the most total deaths at Worlds as a champion? It has to be a support. It has to be It has to be a support champion. That I know for sure.
I gotta go with
It has to be either Rakan, someone like Rel, someone like Seraphine, someone like Leona, Soraka.
I went with Leona. That was my pick. You're not seeing a lot of Nautilus.
I would have said Leona. Meta, right? I just don't know if Leona's going to be the meta.
Who are the last supports that we ended up getting picked? Oh, it's an Enchanter meta with Renata and shit. Oh, okay.
Yes, but no more Lulu.
All right, players. Who will have the highest KDA at Worlds?
Viper.
Chovy for sure.
No, what?
Suck my cock.
Okay,
did you see Chovy's numbers last year at Worlds?
Did you see Viper's KDA in the LPL?
Yes, but you see, he's going to be eliminated from groups early on by Cloud9, so
they're with the 100 Thieves. You mean Faker Dogge is going to eliminate Chovy?
No. I mean Viper, going to be eliminated. Yeah.
Wait, Oh no, Warren. My bad. Warren is right. I forgot Chovy's more based in CS numbers. So I'll pick it up.
Are you fucking? You just figured that? Jesus.
Who will have the most different champions at Worlds? The player? Who's the most flexible player? I'm gonna say Fudge. Actually, Fudge actually put out a lot of stuff in the playoffs. Actually.
Yeah, well, that or it could be
Who will at least get one pentakill at Worlds?
Viper.
It'll be Viper or what's his name? Berserker. Yeah, it's one of the Chinese ADCs or fucking Berserkers. I'm going for.
I think it's an ADC. I'm sorry, it's gonna be an ADC. It's not gonna.
I mean, are you really?
What am I saying? Ruler.
I mean, are you sure couldn't be Comp? Because he gets a lot of pentakills.
But I'm Asian Wang Qingchang bias, so no EU players here.
He gets a lot of pentakills. I mean,
who will get the most first blood kills at Worlds? Who's so volatile? They always go for kills.
I would say Kanavi would probably get
Jackie Love.
First bloods?
I'm gonna go with Kanavi. I'm gonna go Kanavi because he's been so good. That's why I went with him. Come on, stop it. Maybe if you pick Yankos, you're an idiot.
First blood king, man.
I'll go Kintian.
What about Niski? Because he's playing the play-ins. I'm just saying.
It's gonna be a jungler.
His Gnar was amazing. Pick Kintian. Come on.
Kintian.
Yeah, right there. The top laner is better than Wayward. On the bottom right. There we go.
Stop it. Pick. It's gonna be a jungler, dude. Because they're gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna give support to my EU brothers. Yankos is first blood king, right?
Oh my god.
Wait, are you unironically picking him?
Are you fucking no? You're your mind?
Oh yeah, we can pick Mark while you're at it.
No, I was gonna say Zeus because he fights a lot.
I mean,
no. Oh, I got it. This is like rolling the dice, but I think Aguri could be one of them. Who will get the most kills in a single game at Worlds? That's got to be an ADC. That has to be an ADC somewhere.
Hope.
Scout.
You think Scout? No, I don't know.
What?
Hold on.
I
My
think
boy. This is for LS. This is for my boy LS.
Okay.
Which team will win Worlds? Gen G.
I picked top to win
You
it.
pick top? That's a fair pick, honestly.
You're picking Gen G.
They support women. I'm all about the women.
They support thoughts. Nah.
Which team will place first in Group A? Group A's with that's the playing ones. I think EG. People said Loud is really good in Brazil
Yes,
is not good.
They are though, because listen, Beyond Gaming and Detonation Focus Me and the Chiefs are shit this year. Yeah, Euron is fucking shit mid for Detonation Focus Me, and Aria carried them last year. Mega Banks is just a weaker version of last year without Doggo, and they were shit then. The Chiefs are just shit, they're oceanic. They're getting if they don't get top 3, it's on themselves. They should get at least top 3. I'm not saying they'll get top 2 or first, but they should get top 3. But the only issue is they would have to face like DRX or Sagon Buffalo to make it out.
I'll bring up, guys, Brazil's never been good at Worlds ever.
But no, EG will make it out. NA teams always do well in play-ins. They always get like first.
I still think EG are better than Fnatic, honestly. Like Fnatic, I think Fnatic
they're just better in best. They're better than best of ones as well. That's the thing.
Which team will place first in Plan Group B? RNG.
No, let's go with Wildcats.
Fuck off. Which team from a region with 2 seeds or less will advance furthest through Worlds?
I think GAM.
Flying Waster?
GAM.
I think GAM.
Okay, let me read this. Which team from a region with 2 seeds or less will advance the furthest at Worlds?
It's obviously GAM. They're in the weakest group, and they can be as good as Rogue.
But wait, Wildcats have Starscream and Holy Phoenix though.
Jesus fuck. They have Rogue and DRX GAM. They can do it.
Which team will play the most different champions at Worlds? Oh fuck. Fuck. Most teams are pretty standard. I think who be the most. So what they're saying is who be the most flexible.
Well, JDG plays a lot of unique champs because of Konami.
They actually do. Yeah, Top or JDG play a myriad of different shit. All right, event. How many reverse sweeps will there be at Worlds total out of 4?
2, 3.
There's only ever been 1, ever.
I think 3.
I'm going 0. How many pentakills will there be at Worlds?
2.
That's a fair number, yeah.
Yeah, I think there'll be 1 reverse sweep, but
what will be the duration of the longest single game at Worlds?
45. No. 45.
You think so?
45 less, man.
Dude, it's NA teams. It's NA RAM here.
45. Come on, man. Even the last game was like 35 minutes subpar.
How many Baron steals will there be at Worlds?
3 to 5. That's respectable.
I mean, the Chinese teams flip a lot. You could go 6 to 8.
Which Drake will be killed the most at Worlds? What's the one with the fire? Infernal.
What's the one with the fire? Are you fucking... and I'm going with Chemtech, alright?
These are share my picks. Yeah, LOL Esports. Yeah, great. Share with my friends. I'm gonna share this with fucking Sean and Warren. Yeah, great. God. My crystal ball. I'm locked in, guys. What do I get for winning all this shit?
Nothing. You get a pile of shit.
I get a pile of shit?
You get a... Listen, you get a boxing match with Andrew Tate.
I know.
That sounds great.
I know you get something if you win the pick'ems, like the...
Yeah, the actual pick'ems don't... For main group stage, don't get fucking announced for what? A while at this. Well, not a while. Just picks open at 4 days for that. Leaders, ranks. Okay, we're all good. Who's the leader? How are you a leader? Nothing's happening. Oh, it's just names. Okay, cool. All right, so that's it. Rewards for Worlds. What are the rewards? What do I win? I can unlock a MasterCard mini champion. I earned a super rare drop.
This was the rewards you won during watching Worlds last year, you moron.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got my reward. I got an image from Google.
Which means just make sure your account is always, when the group stage starts, have your account going in.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Don't always watch through YouTube. Just play through the actual website. You can play on both if you want. Just make sure it plays to the actual Law Esports website. You just get free shit. I stopped doing it because I just got lazy with it, but that's just my own personal thing. But that's pretty much it. The last thing I'll say for a lot of people is, okay, this is a concept that most people need to understand, right? Which is very simple. If you think the North American teams are weak and they won't do shit at Worlds, you shouldn't be surprised if they don't win. North America will never win Worlds. Probably ever. So I shouldn't expect them going in to win it. If they do just about as good as you expect, that's fine. I don't get why people change their tune every single year. Makes no sense. If you say the NA teams aren't good, they're trash, they're about to get blown the fuck out by Eastern teams, that's fine. That's your own opinion. That's fine. It's like, why are you surprised that they did bad, even though you clearly stated they were not going to do well against them? It's like, yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that Cloud9 get out of their group. I hope they do. I hope. One can only hope, right? I mean, people even said 100. I love how 100 Thieves were like, yeah, we got an easy group. You have an easy group? If RNG go through, they're gonna be in your group. That's not easy. I don't know what easy that is actually. You know, I just don't
actually.
Get it.
How about this, MSK? Which team do you think will choke in play-ins, and which team do you think will choke in groups?
There's a good chance that Mad Lions would choke in playoffs.
In play-ins?
There's a good chance. I mean, based off of how their playoffs went in EU, if people did predict against them, I wouldn't be mad at that because it's fair. They definitely choked in playoffs. They definitely did not play as well as most people thought. In their main group stage, definitely might be a Chinese team. Because remember, Chinese teams are always hyped up to be this like incredible force, but some of them never really play that well in the actual group stage event itself, you know? So most people right now would assume it's EDG that might have some fault with them. Or if RNG do go through, there's a good chance that RNG's been decently inconsistent. Some of these LPL teams have been really inconsistently.
RNG is better than EDG.
So, because I know people said T1. Guys, okay, Faker has never, ever gotten anything less than first in all of his group stages. It doesn't matter how bad T1 is compared to Gen G. T1 are better than most of the teams at the tournament just by their base strength alone. It doesn't matter. They're going to beat any single team. That's how it always works, though. That's literally how it always works.
We just fucking Zeus got owned by Ben, and by Ben who's supposed to be an Inter. Like, that's just one of many.
I don't thought Ben was an Inter. I thought Ben played great, honestly. That's just
no, he didn't play as great as people are saying. He entered a lot of games. He also didn't play
what I'm
as bad
saying
as
is,
other people
since they have good players overall, they're better than most of the teams they're going to face off against.
Yeah, they're good, and they should have won MSI. You know, if it wasn't for that,
they're gonna get. Listen, because the thing, they're gonna get first place in their group. I'm picking T1 to get first in the group. Because based off history of Faker at Worlds, if you put them to get second, you're delusional. It's flat out delusion.
I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just,
most teams they would face off against, they're gonna beat them.
I'm sorry. There's, we've seen stuff that shouldn't have happened before. Sorry, like as much as Gen G was bad, kind of looked bad in 2018. That never happened before for a Korean team, and they were defending champs. So nobody, but besides, I guess, the people in this panel thought that, so you could say the same with T1. It doesn't matter about like the past or in the future. Like Owner really isn't good with his map awareness.
But just from this year alone, when they were considerably in a weaker form, they still got second place at the last international tournament.
That was because Dan Monkia's coach is a fucking idiot.
Oh, good lord.
I'm surprised their fans haven't got the trucks out yet. They're behind in the meta, but either way, Faker and Gumayushi been struggling. Keria has, I guess, been struggling. That's mostly because of Gumayushi. Owner has bad map awareness, and the whole reason why they struggled in summer and lost to Gen in the finals was because they just didn't adapt to the meta. They were that amazing in spring, and they honestly should won SI, but.
I'm not saying they're not a bad team. What I'm saying is like
an advantage, and then secondly the fucking game 5 draft. But either way, they didn't have. didn't adapt to the meta, so will they now? Is the question.
Well, what I'm bringing up, the only issue T1 has is that they're not the most flexible team. That's really just all it is. But the thing that I'm saying, you don't need to be if you're always winning. Unless a team is good enough to beat you at the style you're playing, that's all that matters.
Well,
They play fairly standard.
My opinion, I think people are sleeping on Damwon, but because remember, T1.
That's true, yeah.
T1 took Damwon. Damwon took T1 to 5 games and could have won that series. So that's why I'm a little skeptical about T1. And also, Damwon decided once Nigiri started getting the flow, Damwon started looking better. I'm sure if Nigiri was there from the beginning, right, it would have been a different story. But I actually think people should rate T1 third. I think Damwon is actually because Canyon. I think Canyon is better than Owner. That's not a question. Canyon's way better.
Well, the thing is, because the bot lanes for Damwon and T1 are a bit of a toss up. The only edge I would give it to T1's bot lane is because I think Curious is better than Keelan's their support. Yeah, so my thing with Damwon is the same thing I said with T1. I think Damwon are gonna pretty much stomp through any team that's worse than them. Because you got to factor in the bar for the Eastern teams are higher than the Western teams. So an LPL team should just kind of stomp through anyone that's worse than them. Is that wrong? Actually, right? So JDG. Let's say if JDG were on the playing stage, JDG should theoretically not lose a single game, or at least drop maybe one game. Just one game, right? Because that's how BO1s work, That's fine. Drop a single game. I guess it depends on the fashion of the game you're playing in, because people need to understand this. So the only other issue that I could bring up is if the gameplay from T1 is egregious and bad and something that you can't exploit, it doesn't even matter still because of the team that they're facing against isn't good enough to exploit that. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. All that stuff is just theoreticals and hypotheticals. That's all that is, Because unless you're actually good at the style you're playing enough to beat them, I don't think so. And it's also people like to really hamper when a team doesn't, I guess you could say, win a tournament or anything like that, but they're still very regionally dominant. They made back-to-back finals in their region. They almost won an MSI, or one game away from winning that. So this is not a team you go in and going, yeah, I'm going to smash that team every time I face them. No, that's not a team you do that with. I'm just thinking right now.
So C9 should win Worlds.
Hell yeah. So I just want to make sure people know that, because I didn't get a chance to bring this up, I think, earlier last year when we did a World show, is the fact that just because certain teams fail at just a small point, that doesn't discredit nor take away how strong the team actually is compared to the competition that they're facing off against. Damwon, if they're on the playing stage, they're probably stomping through most people. I mean, you have Showmaker against insert wildcard mid laner dude. You gonna take that wildcard mid laner dude over Showmaker? You know how?
Of course.
Well, I mean, Froggy is better than Showmaker. That's
hell yeah. That's facts.
I mean, if how Showmaker's been playing, yeah. Oh yeah.
But then to understand to the level of competition, Showmaker's playing bad. Are you gonna take Showmaker over anybody else early in that group? If he was in plans, obviously.
I mean, I'll take Jensen over Showmaker.
Hell yeah.
I'll take Tally over Showmaker.
I was gonna take Bjergsen, but you guys kind of beat me to it,
Yeah. I'll take Dajor,
I'll take Nuke Duck.
I was gonna take Certus, but it's just me personally.
Oh yeah, let's go SK.
Hey, to be fair, SK will be undefeated at Worlds 2022, right, Warren?
That's right, and so will Astralis too.
Yeah, I mean, Blue was pretty good as well. Could take him.
So that's my thing with people is, now DRX is a bit different. DRX actually is kind of bad. They're actually legitimately not good. They're actually legitimately not very good at all. So if they come out of groups,
they're a solid, safe team that
only if Death carries them. That's only the way they look solid.
They're slow and don't do anything special, but they're at least solid and safe. But that is not enough. It's an embarrassment that this team got to Worlds over Sandbox. Sandbox only missed Worlds because of themselves choking. This is a disgrace. They should not make it out of play-ins over Sagon.
That's why I think I'll just have Matt. I mean, because this is the thing though, is I have Mad Lions getting out second. I have RNG getting out first. I mean, good factor in. Breathe is actually pretty darn good. If you haven't been watching RNG, he's pretty strong. He's also even better than Ben in some aspects. He can play more champions, actually. Because, credit to Ben. I think Ben did play well at MSI, but he was really only playing Gangplank and Gwen. This guy can play much more different champions at a much more carry-style rate that RNG would need for their team. That's just how I see it. Now, because people are going to want to talk about NA because we're doing NA teams. Okay, so you have Cloud9, EG, and 100 Thieves, right? So if people think that Cloud9 are going to get out based off Cloud9's history of Worlds of getting out of the group stage, they've only ever missed group stage. That's right. They've only ever missed playoffs in Worlds twice, that being 2015 and 2019, actually. So if people think Cloud9 are getting out, that's fair. How will the other NA teams do? Because where would EG go? If EG made it out, where would they go?
EG is fucked in B, and then
yeah, because EG would go to the group of G2 and
100
JDG.
Thieves is gonna get game banged by GENG and RNG.
Good God. Now, I know people are going to go, what if they win one game against them? If that game's meaningless, I don't give a fuck. I truly don't care that FlyQuest beat Top Esports in a meaningless game when they were already out anyway. That means shit to me.
Well, no, that means shit to me. That was very memorable. I definitely remember that.
Fuck
in my
off.
Mind.
Here,
I really wish Unicorns would love beating them once, but okay.
So, like, if EG got out, EG would go, right, what, in one of these groups, right?
I mean, look, with how 100 Thieves is playing, they could fucking lose to Flying Oyster once, like Team Liquid did to that same roster.
I can see that. Because I know there's 100 Thieves fans watching.
Is EG getting Danny, by the way?
No, they're going to have Kaori. So, I mean, Kaori didn't look bad. I mean, I think he's fine for them, for what they need. The issue here, I guess, because I know we have 100 Thieves fans that watch. Okay, my thing here is, I think that GENG are just the better version of 100 Thieves. I've not seen any games from Flying Oysters or whatever they're called.
What the fuck? Flying Monkeys.
So I'll just say that. 100 Thieves.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, listen, they've got their asses kicked against Cloud9 with a fucking head coach who was drafted like an ape.
Who also was on Cloud9 for many years, knowing how they function, too.
Yeah.
This is the same Reaper who was on Cloud9 that got them wins.
I'm sorry, man, people are like, man, Max, listen, he has improved, but I'm sorry, Max Waldo was still drafting like an ape many times. All right, like people like, oh, that Nocturne fucking whatever combo game 1. Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? That was countered against 100 Thieves comp, and in game 2, the fucking Silas pick and everything countered Zilly and everything. Like they were hard countering them in their draft. Just 100 Thieves was playing like the shit that much in comparison, and Berserker just raped them. So fucking if they keep playing like that, even with the draft diff, I mean, like yes, I can see them dropping a fucking game to Flying Oyster.
So my thing with 100 Thieves is, because I know people point out that the fact they have a strong early game and the fact that they actually can win team fights very well. That's in North America. Yeah, guys, that is not gonna go very well.
Well, Dig is a strong opponent. So
we know 100 Thieves sometimes likes to pick Senna for FBI. I guarantee you, with how scrims probably are going, they're not going to pick Senna. I like that NA teams have shown that they're willing to pick other champions. That's fine. I think that's a great step in the right direction. That is not going to go very well against GENG and RNG if they do that. I guarantee you that will not. You are going to get blown the fuck out.
I mean,
do you think Coffee Cup Jensen is going to go wacky? Every time Jensen spills his coffee cup, he wins.
Jesus
this Christ. Is Abadage we're talking about, not Jensen.
I mean, Jack better buy his plane tickets in advance so then they make it out. But
they live here.
Right. Well, taxi.
They live here. Are you buying a plane?
Oh shit! So I guess Cloud9 isn't making it out then. God damn it!
Can you bring up the screen again?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, plane ticket. I mean, plane tickets to
How do you buy a plane ticket in the place you live?
No, the plane tickets to the Twin Towers. I mean.
Oh God. Okay.
I mean, Group D, depending. Okay, let's say
if RNG slots in here, what are the chances of 100 Thieves getting out?
Let's see an EU team slots in there.
You mean Fnatic? If Fnatic slots in here, then 100 Thieves can beat Fnatic. Fnatic look like shit.
Right. And then if we move up, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Cloud9 gets... Because if Cloud9 gets...
Again, that would have to be if RNG loses, though.
Yeah.
which isn't happening. They're guaranteed out of any playing team.
And this is how we know RNG is making it out. At the last MSI, RNG had their games erased, and Riot went, okay, we don't know what's going on. Play your games over again. They beat the shit out of them again. So the bar between LPL teams to any like wildcard team is so insurmountable. It just there's no way they could win games.
No,
I think RNG.
They'll murder DRX. They'll murder Mad. All right.
So my thing here with 100 Thieves that people bring up is like, oh, but they have like certain ways they can win the game. That's only if closer pops off, though.
So can we agree that the group of death is actually Group B?
Group B. Yeah, this is pretty rough, honestly. I know people are kind of sleeping on. People are sleeping on damn one, guys. That's against other Korean competition that you guys say are really good against GENG and T1. And hey, damn one turned it on to the gauntlet. They looked pretty solid there. So if all these players start coming back to form and they utilize their bot lane a little bit better than they were utilizing them, during the LCK split, this is looking pretty hard. I feel so bad for G2 because G2's last form was not good. That was horrible. Now, this group right here is interesting because people are going to be like, well, they have a VCS team, so it's pretty free. I've not seen GAM Esports play a single game, guys, so I can't say.
No, GAM Esports is really good. And Levi, they've won like the last fucking like
10?
8, 10 or like 8 splits, and they've got fucked it every because COVID, other reasons than like the Asian games. So this is like the first international event in like ages, and like Levi's first in ages as well because he went to 100 Thieves, was stuck in academy, then for a whole fucking year, then went back, and then the COVID shit. And then the Asian games. So God, he's 25 years old now, and he's won like 8 VCS splits. But this is like his first in ages. It's shitty fucking luck. But anyway, they can actually like go if they can counter Rogue, and if Malrain can't do well on junglers, like if they ban out Jarvan and then Trundle's not in the meta anymore, then they can beat them. It's pretty 50-50 right now. I do think Rogue will win, but
also one thing I want to bring up about the VCS is the reason why you got Sinew Buffalo at MSI this year was because GAM declined to go. That's the only reason why they weren't there. They chose to go to the Asian games. Which
is smart because MSI is a paper tournament that doesn't matter. So,
agreed.
So out of the other group stage teams, unless a wildcard team legitimately shows me they are actually good, and I'm talking about that luck
just
that
off
luck
a
shit.
logo.
Yeah.
Just off a logo, I would not root for the team Loud. That they should call the team Triangle. Why are you calling
Brazil is notoriously horrible at Worlds. So if this is the exception to Brazil ever, I hope that is true.
Okay, I'll go. I watched them closely. I'll go through the route. They were 4th seed in playoff. Okay, look, Cios, Croc, and Robo are like kind of legends in CB LOL, but they haven't. Cios and Croc has improved a lot, but that could just because of the region. But Cios is still pretty great, but just not as great as before. But Robo has definitely for the last 2+ years he has regressed. It's literally been his teams carrying him, and then also him just being put on his comfort picks. It kind of pisses me off that this guy keeps getting on be on these good teams, but if they leave him on his comfort picks, it's Jesus Christ. But if they leave it on his comfort pick, so it's good. Brantz is like an 18-year-old, young ADC, and he's also role swapped. So and he has pop-off moments. I don't know how he'll do under the pressure and against the competition, but we'll see. But either way, there's a lot. There is question marks, but overall, it's pretty. It's no worse than teams like Destination Focus Me or
I'm going to tell this to Sean too. Because if you guys watch the Asian games when they were playing, I saw this team play. They're fucking horrible.
They are. Eevee, Utapon, they're like fucking 40-year-old men who've been playing there since 2013.
Dude, they probably worked on the Dragon Ball superhero movie that just came out, honestly.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
And then, again, Steel's good as always. Harp is meh. And Utapon is literally that. Yaharon is that guy literally he was on Jin Air Green Wings. He was like one of their 5 mid laners they kept subbing out. And he's the guy who like played Lissandra and didn't know how to do that build properly. So he used his ult and it did like a sliver of health. And the casters, yeah, you should have seen the casters are like dying of laughter. It was the funniest shit ever. But yeah, this guy got, now I don't know if you remember Jet, he was in 2020 on DRX, their mid laner. He's now on, again, it's Sengoku Gaming, and again, if any team, they should not have given that slot to Mad Lions. They should have given it to the LJL second seed, actually, because
dude, I wouldn't give shit to wildcard teams. You gotta prove your worth here.
Because Sengoku Gaming is just as good as Detonation Focus being. They earned it, but either way, Jet, yeah, fucking been great for 2 years in LGO. That, you know, he's just been on a weaker team than Detonation, and also was worse than Arya last year because it was Arya. But yeah, he fucking dicked Yaharon so hard. All right, and here's the main reason now why I think Loud is gonna get it, as long as they play well and they don't fuck up themselves, can get third if they just play to their fullest. Because Tin Owns is by far like one of if not the best like wild card mid laners, and has been for 4 years. And he was supposed to go to LEC in the past with Robo, but they didn't get their things approved because of their past team are fucking assholes. But yeah, no, Tin Owns is fucking fantastic. And if your Haran got dicked by Jet, then I'm sure he'll get dicked by Tin Owns. All right.
What about Chiefs? Because guys, I'm being honest here. Australia and Brazil are usually the biggest jokes at Worlds. Like
Oceanic. Okay, again, I've always defended Oceanic in the past.
Yeah, we know you do. We know you like Paul, dude. It's okay, man.
Jesus fuck, no, fuck, God. Right,
God, inside jokes.
I'm gonna quit YouTube because people hate me. No. But fuck. But no, because they've always had amazing talent like FBI and stuff from their region, and I saw it, and I knew if other teams signed them, they would be fantastic. But it's just the problem is that their coaching staff is by far like the worst out of any region in the game, was and still is, and B, they always got put into literally just the worst luck ever. Like when they kept having super teams from the region, they get put in the worst group, like Bombers at MSI with like the toughest teams, and Mammoth, in that group with Unicorns of Love and Clutch Gaming and other groups. They literally just kept getting the shittiest luck ever. And then the last couple years, so after the LPL demolished, yeah, they got better luck. They got put in shit
so
teams, and they still had a bit of luck, a bit of talent left over, and they kept put in like the worst groups ever with with Unicorns of Love. So that's why they then looked better than they did previously, like last year and stuff. All right, but this year, it's clear that their talent has officially dried up now after the LPL demolished. So, and that's the only reason why this team is a super team. We've all saw all these players at Worlds many times. Tally, Raze,
I've seen a lot.
Fucking Arthur, the Homo Life fucking legend. I can't believe that guy got to play with Chovy. That's just fucking but yeah, Topoon and Drake whatever his fucking name is. They've all played internationally multiple times. All right, and they've all looked meh. And all right, all these players played in like fucking like Topoon and Tally were on Golden Guardians and I believe Immortals Academy, and they got kicked after a split in Academy in NA.
Also, the thing I want to bring up with Fnatic is, if you guys have been watching Fnatic's games, because I watch every single one of them because we do these shows, sadly, in some cases, Razork has kind of stepped up recently for Fnatic a little bit. My issue here is, since Fnatic has been playing not very well, like the only true bright spot of their roster right now is like Wonder and Razork. Since Humanoid has not been playing very well, is there a good chance Humanoid doesn't play very well against some of these, wild card mid laners? Is it a possibility? Maybe.
Well, I mean, that's
Hillsing's been actually running it down. Hillsing has been legitimately not even running it down, sprinting. Literally, he's been the Flash at sprinting down lanes.
Okay, so what you're saying is the substitute they have in right now will do better.
No, what I'm saying is because people are gonna probably be surprised if they maybe drop a game to a wildcard team. I'm saying it's not gonna be that surprising given their recent form. Actually, given their recent form, I could see them dropping maybe 1 or 2 games to one of these wildcard teams. Actually,
honestly, I could just see a world where the Destination Focus may just somehow get 3rd place despite looking like shit, and part of the reason is teams like Fnatic just throwing a game to them.
And then after that, because I know we talked about Group A a lot.
Yeah,
Group
this
B
is just this. This
is so unfair.
Okay,
Actually, this is unfair for a lot of different reasons. Because even the TCL team, the Turkish team, Istanbul Wildcards, Turkey usually is always kind of been the best wildcard region. Usually,
yeah.
Right?
Well, for the last year or 2 years, because
You know what?
all the. Oh, sorry, go.
Oh no, finish your point first. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because I'm saying for the last, Turkish has been all right, and it's been great. However, the last 2 years, they've always. Here's the thing with. It's the same thing with that Brazil gone through for the last 2 years. 4 international tournaments.
Mhm.
They in their own region, all the best teams have been choking in playoffs, and then teams like Wildcats have been making it through, and they always choke internationally. For the last 2 MSIs, Wildcats got last in their MSI group against literally a Brazilian team and a PCS team, and then a EU team. That or the other regions like NA and EU, it's just like Oceanic now. They've been taken, this happens with every minor region, but not as much as Oceanic and Turkey. They've been taking their best talent, and it has now had an effect. It's so much so that, they've been just doing the Latin American route where they have so many Korean imports now. It's insane. They've taken their best young talent, and it's been showing an effect on them now internationally. But yeah, this is just even harder for them now. A team that gone through all that and send in a roster that was like the 6th seed in playoffs, but just lucked their way to Worlds over far better teams because, those teams choked and always do poorly internationally. And then they get put in this group. They're fucked. Honestly,
Yeah, because this is the thing is Simon Buffalo played decently well at the last MSI tournament. They played decently well. The thing here with this group is putting all completely understand because that's what I'm having to explain to people. Putting a team like this in there automatically means this is so favored to that team based on the competition that they're going to face against.
Well,
even DRX, even Mad Lions.
To be fair, right? If it wasn't it because there was the Ukraine war? That's why there's 2 teams.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem is what people have been harping about since I've joined this, got into LOL. To Worlds rather, and LOL, is that the format needs to be changed. Needs to they need to add a lower bracket for group stage. They need to add more teams to groups and put those teams in the lower bracket. I don't understand why Riot doesn't copy Dota. It's not a bad thing to copy Dota's format. There's nothing wrong with it. There is really nothing. And you know what the funny part is? They stay at one area for the entire event. Instead of trying to be
that's
cool.
A very big yeah.
Instead of trying to be cool and go to, we're gonna play in Mexico for
we're gonna play in Hawaii for the finals.
No, we're gonna play in Hawaii. Bro, just pick one big city. Everybody can buy all the tickets, but put you pick a city, okay, we're gonna watch it here. Then we're gonna go to a bigger stadium for here. Mm-hmm. That's it. What are you doing? Use your brain.
Also, the other thing people need to understand with the format is the reason why wildcard teams traditionally get knocked out really fast is because they're facing competition they're not better than, nor will ever be better than, and it's just there's so much of a gap between them. It's just insurmountable. So the best way to give them the best possible chances of doing well at Worlds is they need to not be in groups with teams that are from major regions. People are going to say, LCS is well. No. Even with LCS teams are much better than these wildcard teams. I can promise you that. They don't need to be with any major region teams. They need to be something where they can scale up with the event, like play-ins, but play-ins has to be without major region teams like RNG, Mad Lions, DRX.
My opinion on it is, I here's the thing, just this is me personally. I don't like the lower bracket just because I think what they should do instead is just expand the playoff thing to like 16 teams or whatnot, or like round of 16 as well. I think they should just expand the teams at Worlds. Have like all the major regions have like 4 seeds, VCS
More
and
group
stuff.
stage, more group teams,
3
actually.
seeds, and then basically every minor region to have 2 seeds, and then play-ins to only have minor regions, and then 4 or 5 teams make it out, and then in play-ins, it's sort of, they kind of get like a miniature trophy in their own prize pool. They give them something because they probably won't do as much, in the main stage, so that's their little trophy thing. And then in the main group stage, they'll be expanded to a lot more teams, like 4 major region teams in each group, and then like 2 minor region teams. Let's just say maybe like a 6-team group there, or a 5-team group, maybe have 5 groups, but either way, something like that. And then maybe like it's the same thing with play-ins, where like maybe the top 2 teams in groups will make it out automatically, but then like the 3rd place team or 4th place team as well, and like the group in each group will then play like a best of 5 and against another team from another group who got 3rd or 4th, like they do in play-ins, and then just the bottom 2 teams from each group, just automatically eliminated, and then there'll be 16 teams in the main bracket, because I'd rather them do that. I think it's better to expand it, but also in my opinion, I think the lower brackets makes like upcoming big matches like a little bit less hype. Like I think it makes it more like surreal. If there's no lower bracket, like feel more important and worthwhile. Just for me personally, the only like esport where that was not the case with, where I actually kind of felt the opposite, was Rocket League. That's about it. But that's just me personally. But
yeah, like I know I've told you this too. I think there just need to be more group stages. Why can't there be a group E and F? Like people say, well, what if wildcard teams? It doesn't, guys. That's just kind of like how these things go. Not everything's going to be exactly 100% perfect.
Well, if you lower bracket, we've seen that sometimes you start up in the top lower bracket, you had a bad day that day, you come back and you show
that's why you have to show up on the right day, so it makes it so upsets can happen easier, which makes
but
it
you can
more
also
fun.
get upsets the other way too.
Yeah, you can
get
upsets.
Well, no, because those teams are expected to win, but I mean, it makes it, in my opinion, just more fun, because because if there was a low bracket, it would be harder. I mean, upsets could happen there, but again, like there've been many famous like lower bracket runs, but still, I mean.
So you're telling me right now. So what Sean just said, if Cloud9 had a lower bracket in 2018, they'd have made the finals.
No.
That wouldn't have happened actually at all.
No, I was thinking, in their other games in 2018, they had many lower bracket runs in 2018 in other games like Rocket League, where they won the championship.
What I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't. You want because that world is different. You want the best team to win, right? You want the best possible team to win. I don't want to see the best team initially. What's the best way I can really say it, though? Should one bad day really screw you over that hard? Even though we know that team is better, that team is better. Because this is the thing: if that team upsets the better team, we know next round they're not winning. We know that. Next round they're not going to win.
I mean, you don't know. You don't quite know that.
Based off what?
Based off of shitty ass EDG winning the whole tournament, even though they're
EDG were power ranked like 4th in the tournament. A top 4 team winning Worlds is not a surprise.
Yeah, I don't care. Anyway,
that Sean doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
a team that is top 4,
fourth best isn't first best. The end.
That isn't that. Oh, you're fuck off.
Yeah, I'm just going off of your logic. Eh?
That's not how that works, though. A top 4 team in the world winning Worlds is pretty much expected. You're a top 4 team. So if let's say a wildcard region team made it that far and they beat EDG, I know EDG is much better than that team. We know that. We know next round if that wildcard team faces any against any other team, they would lose anyway.
They're
not good.
Can work. I think the way, like I said, Dota's system is not bad. If you have, because sometimes one of the problems I don't like about the group stage is why is it right? And I'm sure if anyone disagrees with this, I really have to question this.
Your life.
Why would I want to see the same regions fight against each other at an international event until they make it to the finals?
We're gonna get that anyway, Warren, because Korea and China are the best region. There's gonna be majority of those teams anyway.
True, Sean.
I don't mind.
Why not? But why not, for instance, have T1 fight in the group stage instead of having in the when we had when you have, let's say, EDG versus what was it? G versus a Chinese team, another Chinese team in the first quarterfinal. Come on, that's not that was. I mean, it went 5 games, but that's not what I want to watch the tournament for. Like I get that in LPL. That's boring. Like I want to see Zhao Hu versus Faker. I want to see Zhao or Chovy versus Caps. You know what I mean?
I don't want to see at Worlds. This is the only problem I have with it, which is I don't want to see inter-regional BO5s. I've seen that all year. You know, as someone who watches all the main major 4, I don't want to see RNG versus EDG. I've seen that all year. I would like to see RNG face off against, I don't know, 100 Thieves, EG. I know they're not going to win, but that's what makes it. That's what World should be.
Yeah, I want to see Faker versus Tally.
Fnatic versus T1 might be a really interesting matchup in BO5 right now. I mean, it's one of those things where that's all I don't like. Just I wish Riot would fix the format where
format needs to be fixed. That's what we can all agree on, though.
Yeah, I just don't want to see T1 facing against Gen G. It's that is kind of exciting to a certain extent, and I agree. It's definitely hype. That's not debatable. But it's I've already seen that. That's not new. We've seen these teams face against each other. Yeah, okay, T1 could win and Gen G could win. That's great. We've seen that a lot. I want to see T1 face off against, I don't know, fucking Mad Lions or some shit. I know they're not going to lose, but I want to see different regions face off against each other. You only get that once a year, or you get that at MSI, which, it's only dedicated to one team. But that's it, guys, for today. I have much other content I need to drop for you guys today. A brand new series also starts on the channel today. I need to record that shortly after this. I need to have Warren on that one, actually, because I need to help with something. But that'll be
your dad?
Yeah. Oh, no, I fuck you. So it'll be an hour because I'm going to eat some food because I'm fucking starving. And hearing Sean's bullshit today just went over 9,000.
What bullshit? You really didn't disprove a single point earlier. No, one third of the points were shit that we were both agreeing with. All right, which I already, put out there. The other 1/3, you just pulled a 180 from what I was trying to bring up. And
this is Sean's point.
And then the other okay, well that's bullshit. Never support women in sports. But and then the other 1/3 was the equivalent of saying, I'm not gonna eat a baked potato that has piss on it, and then Warren going, well, there's people who have eaten baked potatoes with shit on it. What the fuck does that have to do with what? Okay.
Oh, that you are conflating.
Yes, it is. That is
literally
so conflated. That's not.
Well, Reginald's done bad thing. Yeah, and I fucking.
I've been on stream and said, and MSK can prove this. I said if Reginald has any consequences, he needs to be a man.
Reginald needs to run outside nude now, so.
Yeah, he needs to face the consequences. I've said
all I brought up is that the base point of what I bring up, the base point of it, remember, it might be several, but the base point of it is that people overreacted to something that they didn't know nor understand. I'm not going to believe that people who can barely talk about teams in their own region did research on that guy. I don't believe it.
Well, that's literally the one and only intelligent take you made this entire stream.
No, it's not. You brought up points that didn't make any sense.
That those analysts don't know
what they're
talking about.
Because you're
people conflated.
Double down.
No. What I brought up was that people conflated who Andrew Tate is as a person to Carlos, which is exactly what happened.
Those were just the shitters on Twitter.
The company themselves fired Carlos because they thought he stood with everything Andrew Tate was going for.
That's not why they fired him. That
was
PR talk. That was PR talk. They fired him because they lost him 15 mil and everything else. That's all. That was just PR talk. The end.
Well, I just want to say I'm not defending Carlos. I'm just not for anyone that hangs out with someone. Doesn't even have to be Carlos. That's why I said what I said. I'm going to stand by, because I don't agree that if someone, just a CEO, that's why I said let's take Carlos out of the situation.
Okay, but Warren, are people allowed to criticize?
Yes, of course. That's fine.
And that's what they did, and then he acted like a spaz over it, and then it lost the money. So
that wasn't why. Come on,
just
Sean.
like a world.
You really,
a world when someone has a bad take.
You really think it's because of criticism? That is pure cap, and you know that. Don't even lie. That is so cap, and you know that. That's bullshit. Because so many people. That's you. I know you're laughing behind that screen.
This guy is choking his ass up right now. He's trolling.
Laughing. That's bullshit. I know you were trolling from the beginning, because you know that's bullshit. You got canceled because of Andrew Tate, and we know that.
Did you just order a fucking? Okay, never.
That's a TV dinner, because he does not.
Well, why are you making a TV dinner? What the fuck?
Because I'm hungry. That's how you eat food.
Your diet, your body is so shit.
What I'm trying to bring up is like, yes, you can, dude. You can criticize whatever you want in your life. You can do that. That doesn't make the criticisms not only not true nor fair. They're just opinions.
Yeah, look at
they are what
Jones.
They are.
He says a lot of stupid shit. People criticize him.
I think it was fair. I mean, you probably shouldn't hang out with somebody with the reputation of Andrew Tate if you have a brand to protect.
Yeah, and that okay. People can disagree with that, or agree with it. That's not the point. The point is people overreacted to something they didn't understand.
Well, some people overreacted, which are a
lot of people overreacted. That's why he's fired.
Well, it's the idiot Twitter crowd, and as Perks described, which we should ignore, not the people we're talking about, not the people who actually have more to say.
I mean, I know there are some people out there who probably truly do care for him, that just want the best for him. That's anybody. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. But it's the thing. You can criticize whatever you want in anything. Like with Dracos and Frostgaren. Remember how they had that best of 5 against G2 and Damwon a couple years ago, and everyone criticized them for it because of how bad the casting was and how bad they were talking about Damwon? Yeah, is very fair, right? Then to some other people, it could not be fair. That's how criticism works. It's either fair or unfair given the context of the situation. I just don't think it's fair to judge someone whole moral compass off a 30-second video, a 10-second video.
It wasn't 30 seconds. It was 10 seconds that video.
Yeah, like I just don't think it's fair for people to just judge a person who has done so much for their region based on a 10-second clip.
Well, I mean that's a little different because I mean they were like criticizing something after they weren't.
Yeah, but that was an hour. Like at least an hour and a half. That was 10 seconds. 10 seconds of one man's life.
Yes, but
the 10 seconds was smoking a cigar.
But the 10 seconds they weren't crucifying as the same way they did with that casting. They were just bringing up, yeah, that's not a good look. That's it.
Yeah, but that's my thing though, Sean. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
But also here's in both of those situations, people have a long history of doing some shit, so that's why. People act that way with other, like you mentioned, some people, of course, because they don't have that same history. That's what you get when you want to be a fucking edgelord.
Guys who are watching this, we're not talking about Sean. I'm talking in people with the industry in general. Some people just wanted to virtue signal all of their frustrations they probably have with how Riot runs the game, the fucking casters and how they treat them, all that shit with esports in general. Everybody took all those problems and just focused them right on Carlos because he was just the face you could do it to.
As they should, because G2 is a peasant org and he's a bastard.
Oh, Lord. So
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine for you to have your opinions. Again,
it's not an opinion. It's a fact. G2 is a peasant org, and
that's your opinion.
MSK is a motherfucker for supporting
that peasant org was the one who saved Fnatic's ass too. But hey,
because Fnatic's they're dead. So.
I think you're Sam Matthews' son. You look like that motherfucker too. But
hold on, let me get my photo out. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, this is me.
Good. So that's just how I see things, guys. I mean, it's all opinion at the end of the day. I just think it's hypocritical for people that work for Riot, who know they work for not a good company, to sit there and go, that's misogyny. No, that's a line I don't draw. It's like you work for a company that literally sexually harassed women. Not all the employees, obviously, but they actually got in trouble for this. Something you actually got intentionally caught by the law doing.
You have to pay for.
They work for a person, for I saying right, Trinomir or something. Is it Trinomir? No, it's Mark Merle. Mark Merle, the guy who did it, farted into a woman's face by pulling her face into his butt and was dry humping other women. That's someone they work for. Honestly, none of these guys criticizing him. That actually is very bad to do. That's actually misogynistic and sexist.
You know, one of the females like winked at him, so that was obviously a sign that they wanted it. You know?
What was that? Well, what's that twink sounding lady? Her name? What was her name? Fuck, I forgot. She works for SK. She said, "Wow, I wasn't talking about Kyle." Fuck. What was you talking about? The fucking ghost?
Okay. Now again,
I
was gonna say Trouble Inc., but listen, as I said though, as I said earlier, 1/3 of the points you bring up, I said I already agree with on Twitter, and so it's not relevant.
Hey, Laurel, if you're single, I am single. Hey, we can get together, right?
That will never happen. Shut the fuck up.
It's not that you're hearing the points. You're discrediting what's being said, because the point of the matter is, I've even for instance, I said, for me, and I know not you per se, I said if we take other people and we put them in a different situation, not only you, other people I go to, they're like, well, it's different. But if you put another person in the same situation with that status, power, all that leverage, my thing is, why is this being tolerated? Why is the mob police a thing? Why is guilt by association now a thing? Because that's like saying a punishment before the crime. Like, that's not how that works. Like, you don't get punished if you're not proving the crime. And that's my whole thing. Like, I'm all about, like I said, I don't care about cause. I'm not a G2 fan, but I make sure I don't like G2. I've said that. MSK knows. I might like Broken Blade, and I think.
I'm a G2 fan.
Clearly,
Clearly, yeah.
Because Carlos is gone now, so I'm G2 fan.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
But you have all your right. Like I said, you have your right, and I'm okay with you not liking him.
Yeah, you can think however you want. I don't give a fuck personally.
I don't care. That's fine.
Facts. This is actually factual.
Uh-huh.
He's been the only EU org to win an international title in years.
That's
actually factual.
God damn it.
But it's one of these things where I think just people who are not confident, people who are timid, are generally scared of people who think and act like Carlos.
This is why this is bad. Because let's say it's a.
But nothing is as bad as this. This is actually bad. Look at this. Look at how ugly that shit is. That's their World's jersey. That's like a Ninja Turtle.
What's wrong with that?
That's
representing that. But they're representing that they're gonna die like the Ninja Turtles film did. So
anyway,
but okay, so you say guilt by association.
That's not
what really happened, though.
It is. Well, okay, if he doesn't show that thing, nobody knows he still has his job.
Yeah, well, it was a bad look, but that's not what happened. It was that.
No, Sean, come on, be honest. If he doesn't show that Twitter, does Carlos have a job?
He's still working.
Or no?
He's still working.
He's still working.
Yeah.
Just a yes or no.
No. But if he showed that, I am. If he showed that thing,
Sean, you're giving a sentence. Yes or no?
No. Let me just do it. If he didn't show that thing, he would still have a job. If he did show that. But if he did show that thing and he didn't just act that way, then he would still have a job as well.
No, he still was going to lose his job because everybody was
he wouldn't have.
You think it's because he just doubled down on his tweets?
It's how he acted. It wasn't guilt by association or mob. It was then what he did after that.
Sean, because the moment he put the post, people started saying all these things, and that's when
the moment he threw up that video. The moment he threw out that video, the moment that he threw out that video, the moment he put up the video, people already made up their minds.
Already, this wasn't like back-to-back posts.
he did double down on his friendship, but that was actually after people had already made him out to be what they wanted in their brains.
That's my thing. It's not like I could agree with you if it was like he put the post of the partying and then he said whatever right back to back within, I don't know, an hour or so. But when he put the response, it was way till more people out of the woodwork starting saying stuff. And I'm off of that. My problem is I hope when it's a woman in the same power does something slanderous, right, and associate themselves with someone that's like misandrous, right? I hope they come after them. I hope the same justice in the name of equality is that's all I'm. And I'm gonna call it out. People are not gonna like that. So that's all I'm saying.
The people that did that again was the Twitter mob, which they have no power over anyone. They can't cancel anyone for shit. The actual people, the actual people. Again, this mob guilt base doesn't exist because it's just a.
If it doesn't exist, why does cancel culture exist then?
No, it's the pathetic Twitter mob. They have almost no power these days over anyone. They used to and were able to do for some, but not anymore. But that was that group, not the actual people. No, the actual people were just making reasonable comments and saying their opinion. All right, and then Carlos made that thing. So I mean, yes, he made it. He made it after. People did that, but that was the pathetic Twitter people, not actual people with any for.
Let's get off of Carlos then. I'm sure if I get a Google search or just did a lot of research and find someone that did something and didn't get canceled and was unjustly caused out for something, right? And wasn't proved, but it was all due to cancel culture, I'm sure I can find multiple people. That is why I'm saying Carlos is irrelevant in the whole grand scheme of things. That being a CEO.
What do you mean? So what your point is? Your point is that you're just saying that they don't do it with other people they should.
Exactly. You need to.
I'm saying that. Why are we arguing? I agree. That's not my point. Why are we arguing?
No, you don't.
What is the point of this? This is like the Mike debate with that fucking shit with women over. Oh my fucking god.
No, you don't, because the thing is that if you do, Carlos still has his job. But you agree that he should lose his job.
Wait, what? What was your question?
If you agree with me, then Carlos. What I'm saying is Carlos should not have lost his job. Step down. They should not have done this thing.
I'm saying all of them should lose their jobs, or just get, or as long as they don't act like a spaz like he did and double down.
But how many people have done that, Sean? Throughout?
No, he only doubled down because people already made him out to be a villain.
MSK.
The pathetic
that's what I'm saying.
Let's not use
Carlos. We're using Carlos just for this. Why we only? That's what I'm saying. Let's get off of Carlos. How many times?
No, the reason why I directly just use esports, the reason why I directly just use esports people is to prove that these people are hypocrites. They don't actually believe in the shit they're saying.
No,
dude.
but that's what I'm saying. Esports doesn't matter. That's what I've been trying to say this entire time. That even if it doesn't have to be esports. Let's take Carlos aside. It's been plenty of times when politicians, sports stars, movie stars, people that are high influencers have done something and double down. It's not the first time, but they don't get canceled. Why? Because sometimes it's money. Like Joe Rogan when Joe Rogan was found about saying the N-word and a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Spotify kept him. Why didn't they cancel? Because there's a reason. People do things for a reason. I'm saying that's a narrative and an agenda, and to ignore that is silly.
Hold on, Joe Rogan. Okay, well. With Joe,
there's literally clips.
He should have been kicked by Spotify.
Okay,
because it was a while ago, and he did.
And there's context behind it. Whatever.
But if he just apologized regularly, then it would. He apologized.
He did. That's what Carlos did. He doubled down, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I don't care about it's Carlos. That's what I've been trying to.
But Joe Rogan doubled down, so that was the issue, which is the same with Carlos.
So did Carlos.
Both should have been, yeah.
So, but that's my whole point. If we keep going with this, I believe that cancel culture is unhealthy. Mob mentality because of a narrative that's being pushed with this toxic. Let's forget Carlos. That's what I'm saying. Forget about Carlos. This whole, because toxic masculinity is fake, in my opinion. It is a fake thing. I'm sorry, it's fake. Just like the wage gap is fake. Just like other things that people, that shit's fake. It's not real, and I could debunk that.
I mean,
it's because if toxic masculinity thing, then misandry is a hell of a thing that exists. So let's
toxic masculinity sort of exists. It's more of just like people being assholes, though. Instead of
that road, I cannot go down because I gotta go. I gotta head out of here soon.
Okay,
But,
well, I mean,
we had a great,
either way, people
stream.
people didn't make him to look like the villain. Those are more people just like they were already pissed off at him for other things, and they were just bringing those things up. They didn't. Besides the Twitter nerds, nobody did that immediately. It was after he doubled down, which they did. So sorry.
Well,
all right.
This is the one thing I would say. I mean, people will go, well, if he's misogynistic, then why would he hire women esports players? Guys, people always do things just to make themselves look like they're doing something. They don't. It's just kind of how that works. Same thing like we talked about with diversity. Disney's not really want diversity. They're just showing that they're doing it because it's just to show you.
Disney is a very diverse company. They have a lot of diversity with, like, you know, in the past with like Nazis and concentration camps. No other business has done that, so they're very diverse.
I'm out of here. Have a good one.
See you guys later. Goodbye. See you next week. Okay. There's more content I have to drop later on today. See you guys later. Goodbye. See you next week. Peace.